No, Buttons impressed now. Now
Oh
Buttons
shit!
impressed.
And now Drum not won't speak now.
No.
Oh, definitely not.
We need I need my introduction, Drum. Where's my introduction?
Introduction to the GPA season 16 pair rankings.
Beautiful.
Off you go. Thank you. What I'm there for? What you pay me for?
Oh,
How much?
You can go now, Drum. You did great.
Thank you.
But yeah, we are starting with
who is last?
bottom and going up. Yes.
Yes, yes. So like bottom going up.
Sick. Boom. We have a Smiley.
Kelly Toddy Weather! See? What a fucking team! My team after coming through Gen 6 and trading in my favourite monster from other gens. And then, like, bam! I ported whatever the fuck the fake T-Tar is from across gens.
Good old Iron Fawns.
Yeah, bro, somehow made it into my Gen 6 game. He turned up. Got big.
Low-key, I think he's more cracked than T-Tar when he's got the Terror.
Probably, yeah. But how cracked does he make this team?
Mate, he turns into a water type and gets that rain
Terra
boost.
water
You know?
boost of attack? Yo, he's insane.
I like that.
Yeah, I do not understand why there's a Pelipper there. Like I've seen the power of like Pelipper with a Zapdos, you know, and it's like ooh, 2 flying types, bit spooky, but not the Pelipper and Taunty.
No, I don't.
Like,
Yeah, no, I don't get
that
it.
is a man that is really scared of missing Hurricane.
Bro, it's like, what if my 3 best Pokemon all died to Thunderbolt? Wouldn't it just be gnarly? And you know what my answer to Thunderbolt is? The Nidoqueen.
A Nidoqueen.
To a potential Weather Ball that most electric types get.
Oh, it's gonna be cracked when he comes against the Jolteon. The Jolteon doesn't even bother tearing because it can just Weather Ball his Nidoqueen.
Literally. Just loses.
Raichu Alola also having a field day.
Literally. The only Pokemon on this team above 110 speed is that Taunty. Right? Yeah.
Yes. You have 108 with Keldeo.
He's not exactly that. Taunty's not that threatening. It's good mom, but.
Indeed. Like, you've got like the nasty plot shit you can do,
Yeah.
but looking at the rest of the team, it's gonna fill a defensive role most weeks. Like, it and Umbreon are doing God's work to prevent the team from just dying.
Literally.
So like, you come against like a decent offensive mon, they kill him on. You bring in like Mega Guard, I guess, to revenge kill. But even then, like, it's a Mega Guard, it's not that fast.
Literally, shit's
Like,
base 100s.
you're gonna struggle with the revenge killing. And like, when you're not relying on fucking Guard to revenge kill, you're looking at Haxorus. I don't see it. I don't see
I think your better revenge kill is
how it's
probably
gonna
just
work.
a Scarf Keldeo in the rain, but that requires the rain to be up.
Oh, pretty much. But even then, like, you bring in your revenge killing Keldeo in the rain, and like they have a water absorb on, or any decent like a Slowking.
Yeah.
You know, to name a few, you just shut down instantly.
Like, why is this a Mega Guard and not like a Mega Swampert on rain?
Oh, 100%. Like, I unironically, I rate the Mega Guard in the sense of the team needs something to revenge kill, but as I already said, I don't think Mega Guard is filling the revenge kill role.
No.
But yeah, as I said though, Iron Fawns, very fun Terra.
Indeed.
Very busted. Rock is already a very nice offensive type. Switch out from that into like a better defensive type to get your DDs up. And DD coverage, rock move, electric move. What else do you need in life?
Literally. I mean, that mon, like, when this team gets wins, if this team gets wins, I feel like the majority of them will come through that Pokemon.
Oh, 100%. Like, they'll come through that mon, and maybe even a Haxorus being like sneaky.
Yeah.
Through DD shenanigans.
And I feel like Haxorus is
Maybe then Haxorus just feels like
an
he's
obvious
stepping on
Pokemon.
Iron Fawn's toes, in my opinion,
Literally, like what matches?
with the DD shenanigans.
Exactly. Like what matches do you go and think like, oh, I'd rather have a DD Haxorus match compared to a DD Thorns. And at that point, why are you ever bringing Haxorus if like you prefer to run DD on Thorns?
Oh, 100%. Like you've got spikes on Thorns, but I feel like that's such a waste of his potential
Yeah,
to just make him some Thorns lefty set.
exactly. You run spikes. Like, does Nidoqueen get spikes? I don't think it does, right?
No, it just gets T
No.
spikes.
Yeah. I'm saying that as
That
like.
on my sheet's wrong.
No, I think your sheet's right. I think it only gets rocks and T spikes on Nidoqueen. Bro's
Yeah, it
got a
does
lot.
not get spikes.
Bro's got a lot of taunt.
Indeed.
7 taunters. He's got a lot of pivots surprisingly as well. Just like none of them can actually take a hit other than like an Umbreon. That's the only one I'd be like, yeah, that's a decent wall. Jirachi is too, but that defensive typing's kind of ass.
Also, I'm pretty sure Mega Guard's pivot is a teleport and maybe Bound Pass,
Yeah, I think it's just teleport.
which I don't think you're doing that on a Mega Guard.
No, I don't think you are either.
And same with Iron Thorns. I don't think you really want to waste the move slot on Volt Switch.
Neither. Especially when you're running DD most weeks. You just DD
Oh,
3 attacks.
100%. But yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything necessarily bad. I don't like none of the mons I see, and I'm like, oh, terrible. But I just see like synergies combined together to just not work.
Yeah, I feel like also a lot of teams
AKA
have like
Pelipper.
a Pokemon. And I'm like, yo, that Pokemon? He's insane. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what a good first pick. I see Taunty, ironic because I fucking picked Taunty first myself, but like, it's not that good, and it's not like making like a team with itself either, or a combination, but like makes you think, oh yeah, thank God I got this Taunty. Like I know it runs on Rain, but like, if you're just running Rain to hit a Hurricane, then like, it's just kind of worthless.
Oh, 100%.
Like 70% of the time, you're wasting your time by running Rain to hit a Hurricane.
Like it's not even like he's got a good steel type to take advantage, like a Ferrothorn or a Scissor to take advantage of the rain as well. He's got a Jirachi,
Literally.
which he can do defensive shit with Wish, but not to the extent where you want to have a fucking Pelipper to help him tank off the fire hits. And it's not like his team is exactly weak to fire anyway.
No.
There's only the Roch and the Glaceon having issues, and his Glaceon's his terror anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just feel like I don't know why the Pelipper is there.
Neither.
Like that Pelipper being a decent flying type with defog and recovery, which yeah, don't get me wrong, Pelipper does, but Pelipper has base 60 HP. He's not exactly tanking much.
Yeah, base 60 and then base 100 defense, and like it's spread out
Mhm.
like, what is it again?
Like he's walling things like a
Base,
Cinderace,
like
and that's
70.
it.
Yeah. I feel like he's one of those Pokemon that needs a resist to wall something. Like it needs to resist
Mhm.
stabs to be able to wall it.
And you also got to hope that they don't have Thunder Punch, which
Yeah, a lot of
fucking
them
anything before like Gen 5 is just that game like candy. You have all the Thunder Punch ones.
For example, his own Rochi. If he was playing against that, Thunder Punch the shit
Literally.
out of. Bye bye, Pelipper.
But yeah, I don't have much else to say unless you
Nah, it's
have
like,
more.
it's not stellar defensively. It's not stellar offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
It's just kind of there.
Yeah, it's just kind of there.
It exists.
Literally.
But yeah, I'm mostly scared of a good Volt Switcher just ruining this team.
Oh yeah. Like we said earlier, just a electric type with Weather Ball just goes in.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rain makes.
And like I said, Raichu Alola is also just shitting on its day. And for like a 6.1, I know it's a niche pick, but anything with a move to hit a fucking Nidoqueen with and chip it down.
Literally.
It's not like this team has the salvage ability to stay alive long enough to get Nidoqueen healed through Black Sludge, or even Wish passing from Rachi is going to be semi-difficult.
It's got Umbreon as well. That's not too bad at Wish passing, but like at the same
True.
time, it's just if you're running Queen's Spadef probably to deal with said electric type mon, and then you're running a fucking Umbreon as well to wish pass. At what point it's just like, this is so much effort to do with like probably like a 6-point electric type mon.
Oh, 100%. Like that's just talking about the ones that don't have like super effective stabs against Nidoqueen. Like Terra Jolteons, the Terra Kilowatt rules. Like any cheap Terra Electric mon is just running through the team.
Yeah, no grass type on a red team, kind of funky in my opinion.
Oh, that's literally what I was thinking. Like, what's missing? Couldn't quite put my finger on it though.
And we did mention said Ferrothorn earlier. Granted, it's been already taken, but like said Ferrothorn. I know you hate the Pokemon, but like would do a madness on this team. In fact, Ferro
Oh,
Orochi,
100%.
and like this team goes up like so much in my like estimations of it.
Because at least it does something. Then it has
Exactly. It's got
good hazard stacking outside. Like Rocks is fine, but you don't want to have Rocks on your Rochi. He has much more important jobs on this team.
literally.
You don't want to have Rocks on Nido. Well, you can have Rocks on Nido, but then it's getting your Nido in, and if it's your electric answer, then you're not going to want to keep that thing around most of the time just to set up Rocks.
I think Rocks on those is alright, but you're just giving up.
I think it's his best rocker in my opinion, is the Nido. But like, compare that to a fucking Pharaoh that's just going to sit there.
Literally,
and
just
vibe.
set up the rocks, set up the seeds, just like
Mhm.
fat vibe, knock something off if
You don't really want to use the fire move against him because he's got the Keldeos, he's got the Haxorus, he's got a Pelipper, you know?
You've got like a fucking Iron Thorn if it ends up being like a choice fire move to come in and get
Oh,
free setup.
100%.
But yeah, I think that team's about done, like you were saying. I don't think I've got anything else to say about that one.
Yeah. Next should be Tom, I believe, with Jersey Jellicents. I also can't wait for the British pronunciations to butcher some of these names. But we move.
Brexit means Brexit.
Anyway, talking about a team existing, it just feels like this has the exact same problem.
Yeah, I mean,
I just look at it and I don't know what it's doing.
Literally, like I feel like most teams have like one really good Pokemon where I'm like, yeah, that was your first pick Pokemon and it was good. This team, I'm like, if you told me any of this team was picked up in the 3rd round, not even the 2nd, a 3rd round pick, I'd be like, yeah, that's understandable. I could see that Pokemon getting 3rd rounded. It's not that good that you like pick it in the first 2, and yet there's no Pokemon I think that would get first 2'd.
Literally, the only like arguable synergy I see is the Finny and the Hawlucha, but even then, like, I feel like Seed is such an old, like, Unburdened Seed is so old meta. Like, you have fucking CC White Herb these days, which is just significantly better in like most scenarios.
Yeah, literally.
Like, if you have like
I feel like maybe it's not a lot better per se. I feel like you still want to have the seed option.
the Seed option's fine, but it's so gimmicky.
Yeah.
And it's just it's like a booster energy, but worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Hawlucha has fallen off a lot, and I feel like this Hawlucha seed team was rushed into way too quick. Because like the first 3 that we see there, they're his first 3 picks, right?
Oh yes,
the Moth, the thing, and the thing. Like
I believe so. Yeah.
The Moth, the Feeny, and the Hawlucha. Like, it's not hard to get a terrain setter now because of the loss of them. So if you wanted to do Hawlucha plus terrain, this shit could have been saved like 5th, 6th pick easily, I think. Instead of
100%.
like 2nd, 3rd. And then you can see with the rest of his team what that meant for the rest of his team. He's wasted 3 picks to begin with Moth, Feeny, Hawlucha, and a 4th pick there, Aggron. It's just like,
I just don't know what the team plans to do.
Neither, because like he hasn't got good walls. It's got mid offensive mons.
Like Iron Moth is nothing to be scoffed at, but it wants to be on a balanced team. It wants to be able to run specs some weeks. It wants to be able to run booster energy some weeks. On this team, it feels like it's just going to be lost bloody heavy duty boots because his defogger options are like a Hawlucha, which don't get me wrong, he can defog on the Goldengo, you know, one of few. But Hawlucha and Kartana as your defoggers with rapid spin Fortress.
Yeah.
It's just not feeling ideal.
No, it's really.
I suppose I thought Finny got defog as well, but I think that's just me remembering things
No, Finny
wrong.
does get defog. I don't know why it's not showing up.
I thought it did, yeah. I have no idea why it's not showing up on the sheet. Battle.
Finny's just not showing up anywhere because it gets taunted as well.
Yo, Finny's off in Mystery Land.
Finny's ghosting.
It does appear so.
But
Oh well.
yeah, it's fine. We know what it gets. It gets knock, it gets taunt, it gets haze, gets.
Though also defog Finny does make me laugh because you just lose your misty terrain.
Yeah, literally, you can then get your Finny Toxics, and that's like one of the best parts about Finny's not getting status.
Oh, 100%. And I feel like on this team, you don't really care that much about Toxic. Like, you've got Reuniclus, doesn't care about Toxic. Mega Aggron and Cart and bloody Iron Moth don't care about Toxic.
Same with Fortress as well.
Fortress doesn't care about Toxic, you know?
Even the whatever the Apple Man is called, the Diplin, doesn't care that much because he's got regen, so like, it's not that deep.
Literally, like, the only boy that doesn't like being Toxic on this team would be, like, his type null or his Gudra.
Yeah,
but, like, they both are his Terror, so we can easily trick people with, like, going Poison or Steel Terror, but I just don't know what this Finny's doing outside giving terrain support for Halucha, and I feel like that's such an empty, like, reason to second pick on Pokemon.
Exactly. Like, there's no rush to pick up that mod in my opinion, but very has it. And like, look at the fucking the pivoting options as well. They're so limited. Like, 2 of his pivots are offensive Pokemon, and Halucha's never going to be pivoting because it's mainly a setup mod.
Oh, 100%.
The Moth is the main like star of his team, so you don't want to pivot on that thing. You want it
Literally,
to
and it's going to be
stay.
U-turn. It's not like it's going to be hitting hard of its pivots.
Yeah, no. And then the last one's a Fortress. Fortress you should bring most weeks because like it's just 7.1. So like how does this thing come in? It has to come in on a sack. It feels like the fucking the Moth.
Oh, 100%.
It just feels shit to have to come in on a sack. Any Pokemon. Unless you're running HO, but you're not running HO because you've got a Mega Aggron, you've got a Reuniclus, and you've got a Gudra, and a Diplin, and a Fortress, and Type Null. You've got like 6 Pokemon that are like primarily walls. In fact, Feeny as well. I forgot to mention Feeny. I mean, don't get me wrong, Feeny and Gudra can do both. Like, they can be offensive and defensive.
Oh, 100%.
So can Reuniclus, although like you're not really gonna bring like a Specs Reuniclus ever. You're usually gonna just run it Carmine, Iron Defense, and stuff like that.
Oh, literally, that is the Reuniclus set. I don't know, you can run regen on it sometimes, which could be fun, but
yeah,
it's pushing it, in my opinion.
I agree.
But yeah.
Also, like Halucha being a speed control feels shit because, especially if you're running Seed, you don't
Oh,
want
literally.
you don't want to bring it out to be a revenge killer because if you pop that Seed, that Pokemon's like ass for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you've used its fucking unburden now.
Literally. Same if you're like White Herb for the TC set. Like you don't want to pop that shit early.
Oh, 100%.
So like you either like revenge killer that or like your fastest revenge killer is gonna be the Moth.
Like low key, like looking at his team, the Mold Breaker Halucha feels like it would be more useful most weeks, which is just funny thinking that he's second or third picked a Finny Halucha for the Unburdened Seed combo. But yeah, again, I feel like the team doesn't have any outlying threats, and then its wall core just will slowly die.
Yep. The wall core like has no way to get into other mons either, so like you're in there and then you're stuck. You're permanently switching between walls, and that feels shit.
Oh, literally, you're just stuck in the momentum sink.
Yeah. And it's not even like the hazard setting is that good. Its hazard setters is like Fortress, rocks on the Mega
And
Aggron.
Aggron.
Yeah, and then T-Spikes on Fortress and Moth, but like...
And if you're running T-Spikes on that Moth on this team, like, something has gone wrong.
Literally.
But yeah. The only thing I see being somewhat fun on the team could be a Terror type null. But that's kind of where my... Not to say threats of the team, but like where my prepping for the team would go to. would be don't get swept by cart, be wary of the Terratitanal, and that'd be it really.
Pretty much.
Like SD Lucha, somewhat scary, but in this day and age, it gets revenge killed so easily through like strong priority.
Exactly. A ward easily as well. Like, we've got to remember nothing like
Mm.
base 92 attack, right?
Oh, 100%.
Not
How's it going
like-
to get that SD up, you know?
Exactly. Like, the other Pokemon, like, in these days and ages, like a bulky, like a Pulse rather bulky. Like, you're not forcing to pull towers with Halucha. Halucha will Pull will scarf at your fucking non-boosted acro.
Oh, 100%.
Like, S61, mate, you're dying to a Draco. Fair,
Pretty much.
maybe not dying to Draco in, like...
Depends if it's a Spadef Siege, yeah.
Yeah.
Though I don't think... I can't remember how Misty works.
Misty reduces...
Whether it's the target or it's the user in the Dragon move.
True, because he's flying, so...
I think it is the Dragon move would it would be reduced because Polt's on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way,
Like,
big sad.
Just an example, like any
Just
other...
T-Bolt lol.
True, just T-Bolt lol. Getting
Even then, Spec Shadow Ball's doing decent amounts.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next is we've gone from D to the C's now.
Oh,
We're
moving
at,
on the world.
I know. Even though he is flawless currently in the season, I think Zeus is next on the list.
Indeed. I mean, just because a team's winning doesn't mean it's good.
Oh, 100%. And like even a team that wins the season can still be low on the viability rankings. It's just sometimes bad team can still be played well with.
Yeah, literally.
Like for me, I look at this team, I see a Coco, and I don't see a terrain user.
No, like you do not want to use Treads as a terrain user.
No, like don't worry, Treads is a good mon. I love Treads as a rapid spinner. He's a cool ground type that's not weak to ice, but that's where it kind of ends.
Exactly. So, like, I see Treads. When I look at the value of Treads, I never even consider it being used as a terrain user. I'm like, that
100%.
Pokemon would be the same exact like usage, like viability, in my opinion, if you just give it Torrent, like fucking some random ability.
Oh, 100%.
So like, yeah, it just feels so meh. Also feels like he's got a team that wants to be used on a balanced type team, but he hasn't got balance.
Oh, like Latios is one of my opinion, one of the better ones on his team, but
Yeah,
it wants to be on balance. It wants to be able to pop off on specs, just dropping buddy.
Draco's everywhere. Yeah.
Whatever the new move's called, Luster Purge.
Luster Purge is Luster Purge.
It is Luster Purge. Yeah, Luster Purge and fucking fishing for Spadef drops, and then Dracoing them type of shit. It doesn't want to have to be, oh, I'm in, and there's no real wall to switch into. Which talking about walls, we have the almighty Bandage Slap Ordino.
The Terror Ordino.
Yes.
The greatness that is.
I'll let you take the floor with the almighty Terror Ordino.
You cannot have Terror Ordino be like your bandage slap wall for the entire team.
It's not a P2.
Literally.
You know? Arguably, P2 can do that shit.
Yeah. It gets no momentum, no teleport, no fucking button pass, no shit like that.
Pass.
It provides no offensive threat. So if your mom wants to come in and sub on Ordino, like, they're more than free to do so.
What's it going to do? Knock off or toxic you?
Yeah, literally. The Ordino's not going to break the sub. It's just, you have to play so offensively. And you have to pivot that thing in, like, it feels so ass. Because you're constantly worried, like, what if they sub? What if they SD? What if they're just a steel type? And I'm sat here with my Ordino?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I'm just...
And especially as you have a Latios, you probably don't like steel types too much.
Yeah. What is your answer to steel types? My answer to steel types is Volcarona.
Volcarona on the team that only has spin and has the defoggers with Latios, Coco, and Torn, but
None of them.
I just don't rate any of them as a defogger. No. They don't want a defog.
Like, you can run.
Trez is a good spinner, I won't lie. I think he's arguably second best after bloody Great Tusk, but I don't see them keeping the rocks off well enough for this Volcarona to like be anything but boots. And I just don't see it that threatening when it's running around with boots and
Just
like doing. I can see scenarios where like you have the Latios and like you flip turn on the steel type that comes in and Volk's there, but then most steel types get rock move anyway. So what's Volk doing? Scaring it off with a fire move, hoping that they switch and you get a quiver dance up. Like I just don't see. Like he has so many offensive pivots. I just don't see them all melding together to work. If that makes sense.
yeah, like
Like
offensive
oh god.
pivots feel like awkward to use because at one point you realize that like they're gonna eventually understand that I'm pressing the pivot move constantly, and like the pivot move, unless your name is Coco, doesn't do that much damage. Flip turn Lucky doesn't do that much. I think
Mm-hmm.
U-turn on the well the water grassing for its
You
next
turn
water
on
bomb.
water grasping is probably the second hardest hitting
Yeah,
pivot move.
like it does a bit, but it's not doing that much. Especially considering it's a bug type. Bug type's not the best
Mm-hmm.
offensive type move. And eventually you just gotta press like a move that isn't U-turn, and then you just lose momentum. And like your team like is so sad the second it loses momentum because she got to go into a shred that's a shred's can vault fish to be fair, so it's not that bad. But it's not gonna like recovery moves. But then like if you can't wall it with a treads, which you really can't wall that much with a tread. You can wall a lot. It does a fair decent amount, but like it's only 1-1 at the end of the day. Bam, bam. It's time for Odino to come out. It's like, momentum go bye bye. If they want to set up sweep, then like.
And it's not even like your Dino wish pass is gonna be that strong because when you normally wish pass shit, you have like say if you have Blissey with wish pass, right?
Yeah.
You have it so they have to use their good move against your Blissey for you to wish and then go on the double to like your other Pokemon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say like you have like a Lando T and they have a Blissey and you have Blissey. You can wish pass to the Blissey, like through the Blissey to the Lando T, predicting them to do CC or some bullshit. But you can't do that with Ordino and Shreds because no one cares what Ordino's doing.
That's right.
Blissey can seismic toss you, being annoying little shit. Like Ordino, sure, is similar with T waves and toxics, but if you don't care about T waves or toxics, you just don't care what the Ordino's doing, and it's never gonna get that wish off to the fucking treads in the first place because you're just gonna keep spamming the thing that kills the treads.
Also, being like both of them weak to fighting. I know Odino can Terra, so it can not be weak to fighting.
Oh, 100%.
But like base both weak to fighting. It feels ass because like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're gonna hit me with the fighting move. I switched into a Pokemon to hit me with the fighting move as I press Wish. And then I can't pass that Wish to Treads, because Treads will die to the same CC that Odino's about to die to. You can Terra to resist the CC if you want, but unless you pre-Terra before that thing came in, then it's pressing the CC anyway, and like, you healed and you resist the CC now, but your Wish has died. It's died on Odino.
Oh, 100%. I just look at his team, and there's plenty of moves that you can just spam against his team on that Ordino.
Yeah.
Like any good fire moves, just I don't see a good fire switching outside Latios. And if your Latios is the fire switching, you're looking at
You've got problems if your Latios is the fire switching.
yeah. Especially as like if you want it to be a reliable fire switching, you're having Roost on your Latios, and it's just game over at that point. You may as well have the fucking defog rat Latios and just no.
At that point, you just picked the Latios for the wrong reason. You don't want your Latios to be the fire move switching.
Like that Latios is arguably one of the scariest mons on this team. You don't want to be bringing it in on fucking fire moves.
Yeah, I'd argue that Latios probably is the scariest mon on this team.
Oh, 100%. I think if he had a better answer to steel types, its presence would be so scary because you just flip turn.
Yeah.
Or just hit them in the fucking face. And like even then, like steel types don't answer that well if you have like Luster Purge fucking Mystical Fire or Aura Sphere kind of shit. Like things are fucking monster, but it wants to have that balance to fall back on, but it can't on this team.
No, literally.
Especially like look at like the U-turn answers. You know, Latios is so weak to the like hard hitting revenge killers with U-turn. What are you coming in on this U-turn? Like Tread, sure, but then there's so many options they go on Treads. You know, Volk with the flame body, I suppose, but you don't really have a good Rocky Helmet user that can punish those U-turns.
Treads always wants lefties because it wants to actually be able to heal.
Oh, 100%. There's no reason why like its whole boost energy bloody Quark drive stick is just dead in the water. Like, you really want to have your Coco treads to get a defense boost on your treads? I just don't see it.
Neither. But I think that's the way this it's going to be used most of the time.
Hmm.
I think it's all right. Like you turn almost into an Orlando to an extent because you haven't got Intimidate, but you've got a defensive boost. But like, did you really want to run Terrain just so your treads is a bit better defensively?
100%. Also, remember it's 1.3 now. It's not even 1.5.
Oh shit, yeah.
At least I think it's 1.3 for everything but speed. I'm pretty sure.
I feel like Coco is one of those mons where you want to have like this Pokemon in terrain is nutty to make it
Literally,
worth.
like Iron Boulder is still there.
Yeah.
Iron Boulder, bloody Iron Crown, um, Iron Leaves. I know they all have Psychic, same with Latios, and have issues with the Steel types, but I feel they would be a lot scarier than the Volcarona or the Tornadus or the Mega Heracross that's just been slapped on the team.
Also, just give this Coco a purpose. At the moment, it's just a Coco.
Indeed.
Like, it's just not value without something to abuse its terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Like even on Birdemon, if you could have got the Sneasler with this team, I think wow, to be fair, Sneasler got second pick, so that's good.
Even then, like Grafii, bloody Hitmonlee,
Yeah.
there's some decent Unburdenmons out there that can just do their job.
Mhm.
And like even if they're not coming, they just still have that presence where people have to prep
Exactly. You have to
for
prep for like
the
one
Unburden
wave or
bullshit.
whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways. You got anything else to say or you good to move on?
Just a offensive balance core with no defensive balance core to back it up. Like I don't
Oh,
think
pretty much.
like you've got Coco, Lati, Ogapom, Volcarona, Torn, and Heracross as good offensive bonds. You could bring any of those any week, but you're only really going to bring like 4 maximum, and that's 4 at the very maximum, I feel, in any given week.
Oh, 100%. Because you're going to have the Ordino there.
Yeah.
And
But,
like you bringing that Ordino is just offering people to set up on you.
literally. Also, just feels ass to bring like your 5-point Ordino every week. Every week you're going to have to bring a 5-point Mon.
Also, I won't lie, I'm looking at his team. He doesn't have a good Scarfer. Like, Four said this Ordino setup bullshit. What are you going to do? Scarf Latios? Scarf Coco? Yeah, you got 2 real options for Scarf.
I think
And
Lati is the only good one.
yeah, and I don't rate Scarf Latios. It's defeating its whole purpose of being like Soldew or Specs kind of shit, you know?
Yeah, you can run Speed Booster Treads, but then like if it really is Ordino versus the world if you're running Speed Booster Treads.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I think that's
But yeah.
about done.
Anyway, moving on to the next one in C would be Miflo. With not Miflo, Mingo. With the first pick Sneasler.
First pick.
Second overall.
Yeah.
I will let you take the floor with that one.
I think first pick Sneasler is okay, but not second pick overall. Like
If you're at the end of the wheel
yeah,
and you can get like the first pick Sneasler with a fucking Coco or some bullshit,
like go for it, yeah.
hot. But not when you're second pick overall.
So much good stuff was still available, and like
Oh,
I
100%.
feel like if you want to use a Sneasler plus terrain, like you'll get opportunities in other leagues.
Oh, literally, you'll get an opportunity where you have a bad draft pick.
Yeah, if you're a bad order.
Say when you're like fucking 12th or 13th or in the middle, that's when you get the Sneasler.
It's just so forced.
Mm-hmm.
But beside that, it's good. It's a good mon. Then like was the Zapdos.
Oh, for sure.
I rep Zapdos. Good pivot mon.
Outside the first pick shenanigans, the first 3 mons, and arguably Vaporeon being thrown in there, are very solid.
Yeah, I also like the first 5. Like the Arcanine brings like a breaker, good speed control with E-speed.
No, I rate that to be fair.
And then like there's a Zarudada. It's like bro came into the dark moves, coming to the fucking ghost moves, and then like be a grass type, but quite weak to U-turn. It's always very sad.
Like you've got Zapdos, who is one of the best U-turn switches.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's an excuse to bring up the Zarude.
Yeah. It just
like you don't need that 105 speed. That could easily be a good defensive grass type.
Exactly.
Like I'm pretty sure Tangrowth was still available at this point. He never got picked in the draft. Tangrowth could easily be slapped on there. I think there was originally an Ogerpon Cornerstone, which I like, but I can see why.
Mingo originally had the Ogerpon Cornerstone.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. He had Ogerpon Cornerstone with Incineroar, which I rated, but he also told me that like wasn't really for him, which I understand. And I rate the Arcanine Hisuian art. I just Zarude feels very mid.
Just don't like it as a Pokemon, really. I don't think like the Grass type and the Dark type just like create too many weaknesses to the fact.
It's like Celebi, in my opinion.
Exactly. Like just too many weaknesses. Quad weak to U-turn. Like I feel like you want to use this Pokemon, you're using it defensively because the Arcanine Hisuian and the Sneasler are doing the offensive physical attacking Pokemon's
Oh,
job
100%.
every week. Same with the
This
Metagross.
Zarude is purely a defensive Zarude.
Yeah. And then if
Which
you're picking
it can do defensive, but there are better mons
exactly.
to do the defensive duties.
hmm
But yeah, then we come into the Metagross, which I get it got buffs lately with Heavy Slam and Psychic Fangs, but
And knockoff, baby.
it was a scissor before,
Yeah.
which I understand bullet punch in Lele terrain, not nice, but the scissor just fit the team so nicely. And now we just have a Metagross. I don't know what it's doing because it's gone from Vaporeon and friends, you know, with Zapdos, to just Vaporeon and Zapdos walling the world.
Yeah.
And that is two mons that do not appreciate Volt Switch spam.
Yeah.
And then your Volt Switch spam answer is Sandaconda, which then is also a Terra Sandaconda.
It's just a
Like,
Sandaconda, like.
I don't know why it's ever going to use that Terra.
Why did we need a Sandaconda? Who invited Sandaconda?
Oh, pretty much. Like, it can do Rest Shed Skin, but outside that, I just don't see what it's doing. And then the Inteleon just feels weird.
Telling like two pure water types feels
Mhm.
weird. I don't mind duplicating types. I don't think it's the end
Oh,
of the world,
literally.
but
And I think
just-
water is one of the most.
yeah,
It is the most popular type, so I understand it being duped, but not two pure water types, and not. Don't feel.
not for the sake of an
Inteleon is not good enough
literally.
to be a dual water type. Like, if it was a Greninja, sure. But Inteleon, it's just. No. I don't see the duality of water types working well.
No.
I know it is his Terra, but even then it's Inteleon. I feel like it doesn't get much coverage outside Terra Blast for the what you call it, for the Terra shenanigans. And I know it gets Sword Stance. I don't know if it gets Nasty Plot. It does not. So I don't see it being that effective.
Yeah. No. I feel like from the Zarude to like the end, I feel like it's just a whole load of meh.
Mm-hmm. It's like first five solid, last five just kind of falls apart.
I don't. It's okay to have some meh Pokemon. Like you're gonna have bad
Sure.
Pokemon, but you don't need so much meh. You know?
Oh, literally.
Like maybe like a good in these 5 picks, maybe like a good Pokemon, 2 meh Pokemon, and then like some filler so you like meet the 9 Pokemon rules. In my opinion,
Oh,
would have just been
100%.
better.
It's like there was quite a lot of the meh Pokemon are fine, just not on the team and not in the like with all together. You know, like the Metagross. Sure, you have like bullshit weakness policy agility sets. Zarude can work on teams. You know, Inteleon probably isn't that bad of a Terra user on other teams. Just all of them combined, it just feels like it's put like a right damper on the team because you've got the first five, and then it just falls apart. You've got 2 grass types. You're getting an extra Psychic Metagross. I don't see it. You know,
Yeah, I don't see it either.
like unironically, knockoff is ruining this team because like even Zapdos, who's probably one of your better knockoff answers, you don't want to lose the boots on Zapdos.
That's a really good point.
Like
that's
especially as Arcanine Hisuian as well.
team.
Arcanine Hisuian is so scary with Choice Band.
Yep.
But rocks. And then who's your defogger? Zapdos.
also going to get knocked off, become
Yeah.
then like weak to the rocks.
Weak to rocks.
And you don't want to switch into those anymore. Very upsetting.
Oh, 100%.
Seem like
It was like with Scissor before. I don't rate Scissor as your defogger. You know? He's not a good defogger in my opinion, but he does do it if you need him to. You know?
yeah.
If Zapdos has an insane offensive matchup,
Very
Scissor
strong
could have filled
team.
in.
Yeah.
But instead now it's Bramblegast as a rapid spinner.
For sure.
And it's not even a Terra Bramblegast. You know, I can understand the Terra Bramblegast with the Wind Rider ability can be kind of gnarly, but he's just kind of there with his base 55 HP trying to rapid spin on the haters. I just don't see it. I'd rate a Delmoise over the Bramblegast. At least like that thing is somewhat chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get the double grass over like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like what's the poison ghost type called?
Petulant
Yeah,
or Gengar?
Petrol.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Encourages like more ground weakness, which is not something this team needs because it only has one
Zapdos.
immunity. In fact, this team, yeah, actually no, there's Zarude.
Gives a rude as a resist.
Yeah, but like the Petron could have like given a new type in poison, which is always nice. Actually, no,
Mm-hmm.
not a new type. He's already got Sneasler, but like a defensive poison type. And then like if you want that ghost type, which I presume is the reason you've picked this Bramblegast, it could have been nice.
Oh, 100%. And like, it's not like he didn't have the points because he has 10 Mons.
Yeah, he has an Inteleon.
Mhm. He also has a Metagross, which I feel like fat waste of points unless you're really set on just weakness, policy, agility every week.
I think, yeah, I don't know. It's this Metagross isn't doing the offensive shit because you got a Sneasler, you got Arcanine Syrian, you even
Oh,
got a
literally,
Zarude
you've
as
got your
well.
Wall Breaker, you've got your setup,
Yeah, so it's not really doing that much offensive stuff. So it's
and like,
primarily here to be a wall, in my opinion.
and you've already got Tapu Lele who's getting shat on by the Steel types. You do not need to bring Metagross
Exactly.
into that as
In
well.
fact, Tapu Lele getting Psyshock can do the physically offensive Psychic job.
Oh, 100%.
So like, it's not even like he's bringing like typing matchups offensively. It's just bringing a Steel type, and it's not exactly the best of type offensively. I think Steel type's best redeeming factor is being good against fairies, but you've already got a Sneasler to hit them with a fucking like gunk shot. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah, I don't know. But must be said, I think this is the first team where I'm just like, I can see what it does. It has a defensive core that can pivot into Pokemon, which I love. It has setup, it has breakers. It does something. Not that the other teams did like nothing, but like you can see the
Oh, no,
unit of this
100%.
team. You can see what
It
it
has
does.
its purposes. It falls flat with a lot of the picks where
Yeah.
they just kind of
Just
don't add anything to the team.
not ideal picks, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, the next one is Joshua with Hope's Peak Deoxys. Now, for a man who has Megazam and Ogerpon Halflame and a Melmetal, I'm surprised he's so low. But like, that is because
Who's next, baby? It's Blastoise!
yeah, buddy, our favorite rapid spinning friend.
He's come to save the day! Do not fear, Ogerpon. It is I, Blastoise, here to remove all the hazards.
Oh,
Bear witness to me and my greatness.
I just hope they don't have a ghost type. Whoosh.
Oh, no, because if they've got a ghost type, he can defog with the poison fairy thing, wheezing galore.
Or Hydreigon. Oh.
Wow, that well-known rapid defogger, Hydreigon.
Yeah, buddy, with his base 90s across the board. No, I just feel like you have the Megazam, you have the Ogerpon, you have the Melmetal. Something's cooking, is it going well? And then just
But you got a
it
Blastoise.
all just shit hits the fan. You have Blastoise, like Sliverwing. Sliverwing could have been scary if it was his Terror, but he chose Terra Kilowattrel, which don't get me wrong, really nice Terror as well. Top 2 Terrors in my opinion, like not overall, but like some of the top Terrors, Kilowattrel and Sliverwing. But I just don't see what the team's doing. You know, it has so many just types that are ruining its day, in my opinion.
Literally.
Like a good special attacker like no, that Torn T from earlier.
Yeah.
That Torn T is shitting on this team's day. You know, there's so many mons I see just running through this team before it has an opportunity to run through them with the Mega Zam or the Ogerpon. I feel like we are playing the game of, can I get Carmine or SD off before you can kill my team?
Exactly. Like I look at this Blastoise, and then I look at the Weezing, and then I look at the Mudsdale, the Dusknoir, and the normal middle stage monkey,
Vigoroth?
his name, Vigoroth, and I'm like, why are you here?
I was just like, where have the points gone?
Exactly. We could have built a like nice balanced pivot core, or we could have picked more offensive mons and just said, screw it. We're gonna set up hazards and we're gonna smash you.
Mm-hmm.
But we did
Like,
neither.
this team has the startings of HO, which is fine. Mega Zam and Ogerpon Halflame work really fucking well on HO.
Yeah, exactly.
And even Melmel to an extent, you know? He comes in, you can't one-shot a Melmel 99% of the time. And he's probably going to one-shot you back, because he's a fucking monster.
Because it's a
What?
Melmetal.
Literally. Unless you've got the Rocky Helmet Water Boy in the back, something's dying. But, like...
Unless you're Albi, you've picked Slowking, or Slowbro, sorry,
Slowbro.
for like
Yeah.
the 6th season in a row, then like, it's
Literally.
fucking scary.
And even then, what the fuck is Slowbro doing back to him, you know?
Hit him with a
Like
gnarly
body
T-Wave
press or
series.
fucking flamethrower or scold?
T-Wave so you
Phil.
can get off the fast slack off.
I was hoping that you don't get fucking flinched into oblivion by good old Dubai and Bash before.
But yeah,
But yeah.
off topic, like, I don't know.
No, I just feel it could have worked really well in HO. Even Hydreigon works well in HO. He can do setup on both sides. We made fun of him for defogging earlier, but honestly, he is like Mew if Mew was a pseudo legendary dragon, you know? He
Yeah.
does his job.
No, I agree.
But
It's like bad, sorry, of a defogger.
like, but I promise he does so much that you don't really want him to defog. It's kind of like with Mew, you know.
Yeah.
Mew can do hazards, he can do screens, he can do this, he can do that, he can do everything. But because he can do so much,
And
you
don't-
want other mons to take over the more menial
Yeah.
jobs like defog because you don't want to be
You don't want him to lock
wasting,
in. Yeah.
literally. But yeah, outside that, I just don't see what the rest of the team's doing. Sliverwing, I love him to bits, but I don't see him doing anything on this team.
Yeah. If
Especially with Ogerpon, Heartflame, they both do the same job.
If it was me making this team, I'd keep obviously the first 3. You could probably keep Blastoise in all fairness. I was taking the piss out of him because I don't think he's worth being a 4th pick. But like, if he stays, whatever.
Oh,
Keep
he's still
the-
scary with Shell Smash, and he do spin at the end of the day.
Yeah, and then the bird, what's it called? What's the bird called?
Kilowattrel.
Yeah, Kilowattrel and Hydreigon. I'd be like, keep those.
Mm-hmm.
And then unfortunately, I think the Silverwing and the bottom 3
And Weezingala.
Weezingala, I'll just go. I'd be like, I'm either turning this into a full HO team with a Blastoise. Blastoise can fit on HO. He's got Shell Smash.
Oh, 100%.
It's
That's what I'm
also
getting
a
at.
good
He can
spinner.
spin and he can Shell Smash. Like,
Yeah. And I just like, either I take this into being a HO team, or I try and scramble like some semi-decent wall core. Like Hydreigon can lean into this wall core. Hydreigon can
100%.
run defensive some weeks.
That's what I'm getting at. He does do his job as much as we made fun of him earlier. But he just is like the omni utility creature.
Literally. Like with the Mudsdale and the Weezing, you just come in on the Dusknoir, you just come in on those Pokemon and you're stuck. You don't really threaten that much. You don't really like provide pivoting options. And your utility isn't that great either. Like,
Oh, I think you've got like
Mudsdale
what
can set up-
Willow, Destiny Bond, Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak.
Yeah, like
Like that's what Dusknoir's doing, really.
just like the the Mudsdale can set up rocks. The Weezing can Willow you. The Weezing can
Like
defog.
I understand the purpose of having a cheap Terror to go along with Kilowattrel,
Yeah.
but I just feel like that there are better options to go with that'll actually serve a purpose on the team.
Yeah.
Instead of just having these two mons there, just so people go, oh, maybe it's not going to be Terra Kilowattrel, when realistically,
It's always
if you're not running Terra Kilowattrel, there's something wrong. Even if your Kilowattrel has the best matchup in the fucking world with just electric flying, you turn it into an electric type, or you turn it into a flying type to make that matchup. even better.
Yeah.
So just wasting so many points, like this Mudsdale could have been like a better ground type with the Dusknoir and bigger offset. I don't know how much they're worth, but either way, I can see getting a decent wall core by sacking the random Terror Boys that are here for no reason.
Yeah. The Terror Boys annoy even the Moth, because I don't think Moth's that good without Terror.
Oh,
It's
literally.
still a good Pokemon, but it's just worth sacrificing so you can get the defensive core.
And like I already said, it does the
Actually,
same
like,
thing for
do wall
Ogerpon.
shit.
It and Ogerpon are doing very similar jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, briefly moving on, unless you've got anything else to say.
I just summarize it up with good offensive mons, but then like just like let down by the defensive mons. They don't do much. You're just constantly stuck. You're taken advantage of so easily.
And they're all very one-dimensional. Like, just any good special attacker is just running through this team.
Exactly. I feel like the badness of these walls compound each other. If you had like, let's say you have like an Ordino. Go back to Zeus teams earlier. If you pair an Ordino with like 2 other good walls, the Ordino is no longer that shit in my opinion, because
Oh, 100%.
like they're not like they're thinking like, oh, his one wall's Aldino, so I'm gonna set up on it. But like, oh shit, if they switch into like the good wall, let's say I don't know, they've got a Toxapex with haze, like they can't set up anymore, it's just gonna get hazed, so they won't bother. And then like you can bring him in with like the terror that you need for that match on the Ordino and wall that mod, and they're probably not running it set up anymore. Or like it's not had to wall the universe, so it can terror to wall this one Pokemon that has a good matchup versus your team instead of being left to beat the world.
Oh, pretty much. It's just the power of having a solid defensive core
Yeah.
with your mons. But like, HO is still fine. But it's like he couldn't decide on HO or balance, and he just struck a awkward in between, and not even like an offensive balance, just a couple scary mons with just mons that he thought would be cool. I don't know. You know,
I mean, it's clear.
I feel it took Victim to the typical like type charts where you're trying to get
Yeah, yeah.
all the right types and no duplicate. I feel like he's fell victim to that, to where sure he's not got any duplicating types and none of this, none of that, but it doesn't matter when you have no actual special wall and your physical walls being Weezingala and Melmetal. Melmetal, solid physical wall, sure. But Weezingala's coming in once or twice, getting a pain split off maybe, and then doing jack shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Just a lot of this team feels like they're all competing to do similar roles.
Being the walls trying to be walls, but we're all shit at it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Anyway, moving on to
Reminds me of my TV.
the man,
That's coming in the future.
or however you want to pronounce it, with a Detroit Dewotts. Roaring Moon, solid first pick, you know?
Yeah.
Scary man. Fun times. I don't know what happens after that though. Like I see vagueness of power and a wall core. And he traded up Annihilate later on, which I rate. But the second pick Ursaluna confuses me. You know?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, you've got a really good offensive physical threat in Roaring Moon. And then you're like, you know what I need to pair with that?
Another
Physical
physical.
offensive threat.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then you were like, oh, they're both weak to fighting. Let me slap an Enamorous T on there.
yeah, because like the double weaknesses left there makes up with it because I've now got a quad resist.
Literally. And now I can pick up a fucking Samurai Hisuian? For what? Like, it's like we're starting this HO theme again where we just want ones that smash. And that's fine. But what is this Samurai Hisuian doing that Roaring Moon isn't covering? And I just don't know. The first 4 months just feel so questionable.
It's hit
Like
set up
Arcanine,
spikes, but then like the Scum also sets up
Skarm is
spikes.
literally there for spikes.
Yeah.
And like if you want the Samurai Hisuian to be setting up spikes whilst doing damage, which the whole purpose of bloody Ceaseless Edge, I get it. That's fine. But you need it on a HO team, not on. I've got my Scarm Spiker in the back, ready to go.
Literally, I
You
feel
know?
like that shit can work on balance, but I think it needs like to be pivoted into. It needs to have the
Mhm.
opportunity to some shit.
It
It can't.
also can't be partnered with a fucking Roy Moon at the end of the day.
No. What?
Like, this team is getting shat on by fairies.
What's better than one physical dog type attacker? Two physical dog type attackers.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Like, I rate the Arcanine. I think I might have mentioned, but
The
I
Arcanine is
love the
good.
Terra Arcanine. Very cool. Very nice. Scarm, I'm a big hater on Scarm, but I feel
It kind of fits this team. It
it
needs.
fits outside my opinion, like the Samurai Hisuian. I feel like a
Yeah.
better water type. And like also Luna being the electric immunity feels kind of shit.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too great.
Samurai Hisuian being your go-to fire like fire resist, kind of shit.
Arcanine, to be fair.
You know, like the Scarm fits well on the play style the team wants to go with.
Yeah.
However, with the mons selected, it just feels so off.
Yeah. I
And
get
then Vikavolt comes in, and don't know what it's doing, but it's here. I would not
It's-
rate a Vikavolt on a team that has Scarm as its defogger.
I mean, it's got. I think like I don't know. Maybe in his head, he was like, "I've got these hazards. I've got Samurott. I've got the Web Sunvikavolt, and like my Skarm can be a rocker. And then I have my spinner in the Hisuian Avalugg. But
Which, don't get me wrong,
that's
he's a great Terra user.
yes.
But as we've already discussed, this weakness to rocks this team has. You'd never want to bring that Arcanine as a fire boy. He's still going to Terra most weeks.
I mean, yeah,
So this Rapid Spinner is now an Ice Rock Rapid Spinner
yeah.
with 36 per def.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see it. I see the team's getting bullied by hazards so easily, which, coming into my final point of the team, Annihilate, an amazing Pokemon. What does it hate? Hazards. And it's on the team that is scared of hazards. And I'm worried for what the team wants to do. It has some insane threats,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have anything to back it up.
Yup. I mean, Avalugg, like, it's not just not a reliable spinner because it's just got Aspidef. Aspidef to an extent that's like, I don't know, a lot of like Pokemon that want to be a defogger or a spinner can like deal with just being like pretty sound defensively and not that
Oh,
much
look at Great
Spadef.
Tusk.
But when it is quite literally 30 Spadef, not the case anymore because like
And especially when you're an Ice Rock type
yeah, well it's Terra to
that
be
has
fair.
argue. I think it is his terror, but again, I already said
You don't want to
you
because then
don't
you
want
have
to take away the
yeah,
Arcanine's terror.
yeah.
The reason I rate this Arcanine so highly is because it can now run Rocky Helmet or lefties most weeks, which makes it so scary with Intimidate and just Teleport and just an annoying little shit.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, like I was saying, like it's just not that good because you can get like the rockers like Chomp or like Lando T, like they can just run special. Like Chomp may have 80 special attack, but he will happily Draco you and your 30 Spadef.
oh yeah, you're gone.
You've gone.
You can turn into a fairy type if you want, but like
The Earth Power's killing.
literally.
It's just like the any rocket can just whip out a special type move. If like
Hmm.
if as long as it's above like base 80, just whip it out, send that thing. Like, well, now you've got like your only hazard rule is a Scarm, and you never want to hazard stack with defog. There's no point unless you're just happy to sit there with your
Yeah,
whole team running boots, and you're just like, we're just gonna sit there happily and run lots of hazards together.
literally, which is what comes into the Samurai Hisuian again is it's great stacking up those hazards because like you can normally force them to use the defog instead of you. But I feel like this team won't take advantage of that free momentum you get from them them defogging instead of you. You know?
It has a defiant ape to be fair, but like, it's just not that great because
No.
Everyone's just gonna turn up and say, you know what? You want to stack hazard? We'll stack hazards. Let's have at it.
Because this team is a lot weaker to hazards than most teams will be.
Yeah.
And it's like an Amorous T as well. It has no recovery.
Yeah.
And it's going to have to run boots.
Exactly. It's not a team set up to run stall either.
No. It's just got some threats. Some very scary threats, mind you. Ursulina Blood Moon breaking through any walls. And then, like, Annihilate being an annoying little shit. And then, like, coming in with Scarf Rage Fists. And then Roaring Moon coming in at the end and finishing you. Sure. That could all work with the Arcanine and Skarm. But then, I just don't know what the rest of the team's doing.
Exactly. And also, I've just realised, like, look at the speed of his special attackers. Enamorous, Vikavolt. Both two of the slowest Pokemon. And there is only two special attackers.
100%.
Like, you can run a special Arcanine if you really...
You got
really...
Burn Up, Terrafire Arcanine, which could be
Yeah.
a little gimmicky, but it's nothing viable in long term.
No. Like, you can run Terrafire Fire Blast if you really want to, but it's not, like, great. And also, he's still pretty slow. He's 95.
Literally.
I mean, his team just lacks in speed in general. Like, its fastest mon is Moon, and then like its speed tiering just falls off a cliff. Like next.
Oh, literally. Like, don't worry, you got like banded normal Arcanine with E-Speed. Very cool. But again, this Arcanine just wants to do everything and it can't.
Bro's got to keep the world together. Like,
Literally. But yeah. Moving on, if you're happy with that.
yeah.
We've got a Sean with a Norwalk Nosepass. The first two picks. Whoa.
Yeah, first two ticks are insane. So good. And like, I personally rode the Rotom as well afterwards.
Rotowash feels a bit mid, only because of what follows it.
Exactly. Like honestly, if you go to the Kirim, close your eyes, and then pretend a good Defogger came out, maybe a few more pivots, and then like a good fast Pokemon came out, you would
God
like,
tier team.
oh, it's probably the best team in the draft.
By a country mile.
But instead out came out Mega Pidgeot and fucking Klefki, and you're like, oh, what happened, man? Why did Klefki have to come?
Like, there is a Mega Pidgeot when you're defogging options. Oh, said Mega Pidgeot. Rotom Wash, who, don't get me wrong, great defogger. I know a guy whose only defogger realistically is a Rotomo, but it goes great.
Pretty good.
But like,
I think that guy's a top player. Very good at the game.
you can argue Prankster defog with Klefki is nice, but it's a Klefki at the end of the day. You know? That's your fairy type that can't take fighting moves. And you're already a team that, like, sure, Slowking Galar, he eats the fighting moves for days, but you're really going to Slowking Galar to chilly reception into your Klefki to try and get this defog off when they're both weak to ground on a team that ground immunities are like Pidgeot, where you have, say, that the rocks are already up, you know? What are you doing against these ground types if rocks are up? Going to Rotom Wash? I feel the chip with rocks isn't ideal.
Yeah. I mean, Rotom Wash is decent because it can switch into most of the rock setters because, like, it's levitate. But...
Oh, 100%. Levitate, and also, like, he is tanky at the end of the day. He's not dying to, like, stone edges that a lot of the rockers could carry.
He's not dying to a non-stop stone edges or getting two-shotted.
Oh, 100%.
But, like, Rotom Wash, very good Pokemon, and doesn't want to have to run defog every week.
Literally. It wants the option to run the Scarf bullshit, or just that shit.
Like, Volt Hydro Willow Pain Split. Like,
literally.
That was the standard
set
in OU for so long, and it's good, but it doesn't get the option to do that if it's running defog. It's gonna have to lose probably either Willow or Pain Split.
Oh, literally.
And it just feels ass because I think Willow is like what makes Rotom Wash so good is the fact that it can Willow the physical threats to deal with like its below average defense for a wall. And then Pain Split, it's like it's only sustain other than lefties, so you really don't want to get rid of that. It's gonna put your team on a timer other than like praying that Slowking Galar just like pivots to the end of the world.
Very much. But then, like, talking about the rest of the team, after Klefka, you have Chandelier, who,
It's just
again, weak to rocks.
yeah.
Really, really good trend setting here.
Why do you need
Does
him?
Kieran's job,
Yeah,
pretty much.
literally. Like,
Like, sure, he can beat up the steel types that Kieran, quote unquote, can't, but I think fucking Earth Power's sending most steel types anyway.
yeah.
And, like, what are the steel types doing back to Kieran? He's a fat shit. Rhyperia Terra, kind of cool, won't lie. Terra Slam / Alola with Glow King, very cool. We already had to punish loads of the Terra / Rush boys because of Slow King. Superior gives you a defog, I suppose. Gives you a very needed ground resist.
Gives you that speed control that isn't called Mega Pidgeot, and like Mega Pidgeot
Mhm.
don't count because like, why would you ever pick up a Mega Pidgeot?
Literally, it's got the same speed as what Taunty, but like no item allowed.
No item.
I would rate like Cyclozar over this Mega Pidgeot right now. It would be doing so much more.
Wouldn't give him a ground immunity. Actually, no, he's got Road and Wash, so yeah. I don't know.
And I don't see Mega Pidgeot as a ground immunity, in my opinion.
I get that because like, just gonna
Like,
die to the Stone Edge. Like if they predict it,
literally.
when it's just like not. No, I agree. I'm not sure I'd quite go with Cyclezar, but like anything else, especially considering this is this actually his 5th pick? Because it's 5th in the order.
Yeah, I think it is 5th overall.
You're like, surely there's something better. You're just like, I could get this defogger or this backup defogger to Road and Wash, or I could get just I don't know. I'm sure there must have been a fast electric type still available this time, but would have actually he would have got a wash to be fair, maybe not, but like
He's got Wash.
something fast to just like revenge kill shit.
Oh, 100%. And now it's dropped. The Deoxys speed could work, though. Like you have got Glow King,
I feel like you could
but
afford,
like it's
you could
psychic,
afford the
you
double
know.
psychic, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Especially considering like Dr. Speed's coverage is like insane. Gets everything under the sun.
Oh, literally. And it's not like they're stepping on anyone's toes on this team. But I don't know. The team has the grounds to be such a scary team. Like what is coming in on Urshifu single and Kiram? Like, you know? Even the best wall cores are being ruined by those two. But then there's just nothing to utilize the breaking of the walls, you know?
Yeah.
There's no fast revenge killer on this team.
No endgame sweeper. I guess
No.
Serp, to be fair. Serp does the alright job.
Right period with like Hera, Rock Polish shenanigans can be a late game sweeper too. But even then he's fucking slow. Terror all you want, but you're gonna have to get like 3 bloody Terrors up and like you have solid rock, sure, but that's not saving you from being Will-O-Wisped or toxic.
I feel like this team just brings the first 4 mons every week and then like just like, well what are the
Terror boys.
Yeah, what are the lads do I just whip out last to like fix it? Fix whatever
Oh,
problem.
pretty much. I can see this team being the first 4, Klefki just because like utility, and then either Sand Slash Alolan or Rhyperia for the Terrors, depending on the matchup. But yeah. Yeah, you good to move on?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a special guest for the next one.
Oh, we do.
It's Drum's team.
Been quiet all this time. I think he's been secretly preparing a speech for his team while he's like,
I believe so
while he's
too.
been in the background just waiting, waiting to tell us how good it is.
Yeah, no.
I'm waiting for him to defend this Quackalava, you know?
But he needed his grass, water, fire core.
And he got it really quickly.
Look at
Can you
that.
can you not mock my Gook? So rude.
No, I think I have to, unfortunately.
This duck is being very mocked, I'll be honest.
Because this duck got 2nd picked.
A valuable duck.
Literally, he's very valuable. This duck is
To be fair, the duck was picked up just before the Keldeo got picked up. So maybe that was like something in the air for the water fighting types to be picked up, you know?
Exactly. And we know how well it went for my water fighting brethren down in 16th place. Really well. That was a great team, so.
Only up and up for this team, am I right? But yeah, looking at the team, I see a Meowsquada, very fun. Though apparently it's not been brought yet. We don't talk about that though.
Different.
Celesteela, honestly, I hate the Pokemon. I think it is so overrated. Like you are just hoping for your opponent to misplay for you to use it, in my opinion. But all that said, it works well on this team.
Show me doesn't
As
get
painful as it
$10.
says.
No,
Indeed.
look, the pain is still there. Okay, can we not talk about that, Bronk?
Atomize weakness policy. When are we going to see it? And talking about cut
Never
moves, I heard this Mega Kangaskhan can't power up punch either.
No, can't return over.
You know,
Can't even
no.
seismic toss. He's just there. Like,
He's there to
man,
get that fake out chip, you know?
yeah, exactly. I think they should change him.
Move
So,
over
like,
technician.
supporting utility moves gets used twice too. So, like, bro sets up 2 wishes. Bam.
Yo, he can toxic twice. He hits you with a toxic and then he toxics your teammate in the back.
the last Pokemon seen out before that
Literally,
Pokemon
he catches a
also gets
toxic.
toxic. Big.
And even then, I think he'd still be like mid-rated because it's a fucking Kangaskhan.
No, I think toxicing 2 Pokemon at the same time would be
Nah,
insane.
it would be fucking dirty.
You think you're safe because you switch them out? Bam, you got toxics anyway because Mega Kangaskhan was here.
You'd have to be fucking doubling before the Mega Kangaskhan came out just so you could like not get your boy toxic.
Literally. But instead of made up Pokemon, let's talk about the very real Quacklarva.
Oh, literally.
The very real Quacklarva. Can you explain like why he's here, Trouble?
No,
No?
no.
No. I Quacklarva is an interesting one because he does a lot of jobs, you know? He's a great spinner. He's arguably probably like one of the top spinners, and that's only because so many spinners are ass. I'd argue he's better than Buddy Blastoise at spinning, because at least he has Roost. He can do Aqua Step Moxie bullshit. Very cool.
I think that's his best set.
Literally. And that's why I'm going to mention my next point is he doesn't want to run Rapid Spin.
No.
Then that leads it to Rotom Heat to defog. And we already have talked about not only Rotoms defogging, but Mons that are weak to rocks having to defog.
Defogging.
Like,
yes.
literally, you've got the worst of the worst when it comes to your hazard removal. And then it's not even like you can hazard stack effectively, because your only spiker is a Meowscarada, who doesn't want a spike, let's face it. It's a Meowscarada. He wants to run banded triple axle most weeks. And then T-spikes and rocks on Nido, who, fair enough. But again, I rate this Nido on this team purely because of its wall-breaking presence, you know?
No, I think according to Drum, it's best used with AV.
And there you go. Then it can't rocks or T-spike to its AV either, can it?
I think you'll find I won that much. So yeah,
Ah,
AV best confirmed.
can confirm.
No, I do agree. I think that Mon's okay on the team.
Oh, literally. I think
Yes,
it, Celesteela, Meow, Fish, all work somewhat okay together on like a weird balance, like offense bullshit. But then like we come into the balance and it's Screamtail and the lads.
Screamtail and the lads. Lads. Screamtail can wish into the Rotom. OP. Then no, I got it. Rotom can now run Boots and Defog because he doesn't need Pain Split anymore, and it doesn't need lefties because it's got wishes from Screamtail.
And it's like
genius.
Not like he's gonna get knocked off anytime soon, because it's not like the Life Orb, Nidoking, the Boots Rotom, the Lefty Screamtail, the Eviolite Slowpoke. None of them like the knockoffs, you know. So I'm a bit worried about the knockoff. That's why Quacklarva's here.
Exactly. That's why we've got the defensive Quacklarva. He comes in.
So
He's got
huge.
Rapid Spin, Roost, Flip Turn every week. And he's like, bam, I've tanked the knockoff, and I'm ready. I'm going to throw you out of the CC and Flip Turn instead. And then I can continue playing the game.
Oh,
it's so good.
And that's why it's so high rated.
It's a genius. He's even got
We need to go change that Quacklarva to SS rated.
Exactly. Like, he's got
it's all the it's all opening up now, you know.
Yeah,
the
he's got
Giga Brain.
Terrors as well to go with it, like
Smeargle.
Like Smeargle.
Mate, Shell Smash Smeargle with like Terra water fishes wrens. Wow.
No.
Better
Short
fish,
splash.
confirmed.
Terra normal E-speed.
Is it not belly drum?
Belly drum.
Not belly drum, no.
Spore belly drum. Terra normal E-speed. Bang.
Oh,
And then he runs Foresight as well, so he can hit all the ghost types.
go in.
Oh,
Just don't come against Goldengo.
Have you? Nah, Goldingo not real. We know the man with Goldingo, so it's all right. He won't have any problems.
Fair.
Nah, he's got Mr.
Nah,
Wiggle. Like you always get bonus points for having Mr. Wiggle. But
yeah.
can't
If you let
lose.
Mr. Wiggle lose, then
Yeah,
I think you're banned from the GPA.
DQ.
If you let
DQ
Mr. Wiggle
for the rest of the
lose.
season, if you let him lose.
100%.
He stole my terrors, but I don't let them lose. Well, except for the Smiggle.
But your Terra Smeargle? That's your favourite Terra, is it
Nah,
not?
you can keep that one.
That's a crossbow Terra if I've ever seen one.
I don't think it is.
He Terra ghosts on the rapid spins. You don't understand.
Genius.
But I don't really have anything else to say.
I don't think we even rated this team. We just took the piss out of it.
I don't think we need to rate it. It just kind of does what it does. You know? It breaks things with Nido and Fish.
No, it just goes like, please, Dracovish, carry me. I haven't brought Mouse God on 1 week yet because I don't know how to use any Pokemon above 15 points. But here I am. I'm pretending I know how to use Celesteela. But like, not
To be fair, he's using Celesteela quite well.
Yeah. Well, Celesteela's a fake 17 pointer because he picks it up in the Great.
He's also overrated like shit, so he is a fake 17 pointer.
Overrated.
He's like Terrapagosa, you know.
Literally. How's it
Drum
overrated?
can only run the overrated shit.
What were you saying, Drum? About the...
How's overrated when nobody picks it up?
No, you're saying it's underrated. Yeah, overrated, yeah. What do you
mean? Yeah. What do you mean it doesn't get picked up?
It's 17 points, and so it shouldn't be 17 points.
Oh,
it's been rated too high.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'll go back to being quiet.
It's because Mingo has found another Mon to obsess over that's not Celesteela right now, so we're safe, you know?
Yeah, that's why you gotta pick it up in, like, after the draft, you know? He let him be. He went for the Sneasler, you know? He got a
he got a Sneasler, and then he got his Scissor, and then you took the Celesteela before he could change the Scissor for a Celesteela. You know? It's all your fault, Drum.
Yeah, horrible.
That Celesteela didn't get picked.
And someone else took his Scissor. Don't know who that could be. Ruined his team to make sure he got this Scissor. True genius.
I look forward to seeing this Scissors new home.
It's a good place.
Indeed. But yeah, have you got anything actual critical to say about the team? So I'm pretty happy where we've left it off, personally.
His special attacker is Celesteela
Rome Heat
and Nidoqueen.
and Rome Heat.
Nido King.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Specs Rome Heat, mate.
They're not exactly rapid, and neither is any of his team other than a somewhat fast Meowscarada. It's kind of lacking in speed. And I won't have you telling me that this Screamtail is providing any kind of speed control other than T-Wave.
No. Screamtail offers speed control. It doing fast baton passes when it doesn't want to do a fast baton pass. And then it can't wish pass because it's too fucking quick with baton pass.
You're trying to baton pass out on like the Shifu single, and then you're just like, oh no, I've gone first. Who's dying?
Bye bye, Quackalava. You were nice knowing you.
Oh, it was nice knowing you, Quackalava, but it's time for you to get absolutely sent. But yeah, this team, like, one last note, it has Pivot Core. Unlike Pivot Core, it has threats. It has set up in the Celesteela. They'll just feel a bit mid.
But I won't lie, it all feels very mid. I feel like it could have been made better through Kanga and onwards. You know? If Kanga had been a good Terra user, drop the fucking Smeargle and Pikachu. Or Slowpoke, depending on how much the Terra user costs.
Yeah, I mean, like, Pikachu,
it would have been
Pikachu's
honestly
like
fine.
And Smeargle's also like 2 or 3 or something.
Oh yeah, like they're cheap. He used a whole 6 points or something on Terra.
Yeah,
But I think Slowpoke's like 3-point terror, something like that.
2, I think.
I know we didn't let him be 1 point.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like,
Yeah, he's a 5-point terror.
drop the terror users other than Slowpoke, and drop the Mega Kang, and then like you can pick up a decent terror user.
Indeed. I heard a Conkeldurr has just got on the market.
Yeah.
That will help my
Ooh.
speed problem.
That'll help you what? Sorry.
That will help my speed problem.
Exactly, you
I
can
mean-
punch him in the
I
face.
mean, you've
Mag
got
punch.
priority then. Like, although to be fair, you are giving up terror
If you
users
really
to
want
go
speed,
Pikachu.
you can. There's like Salazzle. There's Terra.
what? Oh,
Terra Crobat too.
Zoom.
There are options out there. But yeah. Terra Scolipede. No, it isn't Terra. We were smart. Thank fuck.
Yeah, I really want to face against the SD Speed Boost.
SD Speed Boost Terra Ground EQ. Mmm.
Sounds like a great time.
Oh dear.
But yeah, overall, your team's shit. Next.
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 Then we come on to a questionable team.
I heard through the grapevine some mean person told him not to pick Dragapult, and then he picked up a first pick Deoxys.
I would hear what you're saying, but I think it's all slander.
That's fair. Like, to be fair,
I
if anyone was convinced to pick a Deoxys over a Dragapult, I would also just think it was fake news.
exactly.
So, like-
Also, I heard there was a Corv going to this team, and then a big mean guy that likes muscular Pokemon took the Corv. You know?
If you're not drafting at least 6 of the same Pokemon, what are you doing?
Oh, too true. But yeah, the offensive threats scary. The first 6 months, honestly, it just screams like HO.
Nah,
You know?
no disrespect to Staraptor. First 7.
Yeah, why not?
Although, not sure I'd call Tinglu HO.
What do you mean? Hazard stacking for days.
It
He
is-
leads the Tinglu. He sets up the spikes and rocks. Tinglu still doesn't die because he's a monster. And then he kind of vibes for a while, EQing people till he dies.
And then he whirlwinds
And
until he
then-
dies. Genius.
Yeah, exactly. You got Aegislash, who, since his nerf, is a bit sad, especially no autonomized weakness policy.
Yeah.
But like, Specs is still doing God's work.
This team's hazard removal is defog Staraptor.
Yeah, we don't talk about the hazard removal. He has a Mega Diancie who is coming in on all the rock types.
All of the rock types with EQ. Just
Yeah.
like, nom 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 nom.
Or all the steel types with Stealth Rock.
This team might be slightly overrated.
I think so too. But we move.
Mistakes were made.
Oh well.
That's fine. It's got good points too. Look at it. Like, look at that dancing. Look at the monkey.
You
Oh,
don't
literally.
need hazard removal on HO, so you're fine.
You're right.
He's right.
On
You
a
just
rogue-
stack up the hazards on Tinglu before they can stack up hazards on you.
Exactly.
I
To be
think-
fair, if there was a team that could do the I've got boots and vibes, this team could do the I got boots and
Oh.
vibes.
100%.
So it's not that bad, to be fair.
And like, you've got arguably the best Terra user in Jolteon
Yeah.
on the team. You got
No.
Rapid Strike popping off. You got Rillaboom
Terra
popping off.
user is better
Yeah,
than
sorry,
Jolteon?
Drum.
What Terra user is better?
I've got a from the gift options, I think.
Can I just have one of them?
Bear kick.
He's not allowed to Terra.
Yeah, so
Wait,
like
did we let him Terra?
Yes,
no, he's
he
not.
can
Oh, I think we gave him like 15 points to
he can
Terra.
He's
Terra.
still not better than a Jolteon. You have to do
Yeah,
so much setup to use that shit compared to our
What?
Jolteon.
Oh, he's
It comes
11
out
then.
and,
So
like,
myself clicking killing reception.
You need a Slow King
yeah, there's 2
for the
slow
bad
kings in
tip.
the league. Jolteon is just Jolteon no matter what team it ends up.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out Soakin's really good thing.
Yeah, well,
I've also heard Arctozolt is a pretty good boy.
yeah,
That too.
That
That's
can't-
And he doesn't waste your Terra.
exactly.
But yeah. But yeah, I think Jolteon, very strong. Tinglu, I think I agree with you. You made a statement before saying how he doesn't really fit on the team.
Nah.
I can see that, but also it's just such a weird team because it doesn't have any wolves.
It really doesn't.
Like, it is purely HO with a Tinglu and a Suicune.
Yeah. Well, the ghost think.
I don't know if that's a wall.
Don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. I'll agree with that. Yeah,
It's got Fluffy and 100 defense. Like,
that's fat as fuck, boy.
yeah.
Just a shame Fluffy doesn't boost body press.
Anyway,
Like he's got this Graphite with the Rillaboom. That could be cool. Some unburdened SD shenanigans. He's basically like budget Halucha.
does it get SD?
It does, yeah. Like SD Gunk, more moves. That's all the moves I know it gets. But you know, it probably gets more.
I mean, like, I don't know, Body Slam, I presume, or some.
Yeah, it gets
normal
knock. Yeah, just not Gunk and Double Edge really, innit? Maybe Acro. But it works okay with Rillaboom in my opinion.
move, sort of.
I think they both get walled by Corv and Scissor, which bit of an issue. But yeah.
What's
I feel like
types?
talking about Corv and Scissor, I feel like the team is missing a good fire type.
It is. In fact, it's missing
Like
a fire type.
Steel is ruining this team. Like you've got Urshifu Rapid, but outside that, a good Steel type is walling Diancie, walling Urshifu, walling your Unburden Boy, semi-walling Staraptor outside banded CCs. You know? Yeah, I don't know. The team is weird. It's
Resist both its stabs. Granted, it can have Earth Power or Fire Move, but like still, Earth Power and Fire Move aren't that strong to break Steel types.
oh,
Depending on
100%.
which one it is, like if it's Curve, like you're not breaking the Fire type, the Steel type. Sorry.
Mm. No. I feel the team is rated highly only because of its scariness with HO. You know?
Yeah.
Because you can just break shit with Rapid, H-Slash and Staraptor, and arguably Rillaboom. And then you just have Mega Diancie and Jolteon on cleanup crew.
Like, I don't know, maybe you slap on Suicune, it sits as a 6th useless mon the entire game, and then, like, maybe you break whatever was there to counter it, and you can just win in the end.
Mm-hmm. Another thing is Glimora as well. Glimora's recently been dropped. I can't remember how many trades All Star has left, but
Could be interesting.
would not be too bad.
But I think at that point, if you're picking up Glim, you're dropping the, what's his face? The Tinglu, because they do a similar job.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. You are fully going HO.
There's not many good ground types
And,
left. I mean, you could pick up a Mega Chomp. I think there's a Mega Chomp left, and that give you a
mm-hmm.
Dragon type and a Ground type that you're missing.
You've got Volt Absorb Jolteon as well to fill up the electric immunity.
Yeah, but you don't really want to have to force Jolteon into a defensive
Oh, 100%.
role.
I think at this point, though, you're just purely going HO.
Oh, 100%.
You don't care about switching things out. You're going for the 18 turn battles or less.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. I think the team is scarier than some of the teams we've seen before, but I'd also argue some of the teams we've seen before probably do a bit better overall.
Yeah.
I think this team is very much a win on matchup or lose on matchup kind
I
of
think
shit.
what can keep it up here in this rank, in I have to think about it, is it's really easy to execute this team. Like, you turn up and you smash. No switching,
Oh, 100%.
just smash.
You don't need to predict. You just smash.
And that will make this team feel better because no thought process required, really. Just smash.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Staraptor, just press that Brave Bird button and smash.
Oh,
Jolteon,
literally.
you can just press the fucking electric move or the magnet, and if they bring out said ground type, just tear into a type you've chosen to beat the ground type this week and just smash it.
Literally. And like Rillaboom and Urshifu are such a gnarly combo, in my opinion. It's like you often have like the water types like Rillaboom, not Rillaboom, Slowbro and Slowpoke dealing with, or even Pegs, though Rillaboom's not the best Pegs answer. Dealing with the Urshifu, and then you've got H-Slash and bloody Rillaboom right there to come on these U-turns, you know, from the Urshifu Rapid. Yeah, I feel the team does a really good job at just having so many valid wall breakers with Jolteon and Diancie to where it can do shit, you know?
Literally. Like, when I played against this team, I practically just made stall. Because it has so many threats. And, like, if you have that many threats that your opponent practically brings Storm, then maybe you don't need the best of defensive war cores. Because
Oh,
they don't have
literally.
that many threats themselves.
And like talking about stall, you have Aegislash, who like a great shutdown to stall.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, moving on. If you're happy with it.
Yeah, I'm happy with this.
Yeah. Next is JDS with Bay Area Blacephalons. We have that first weather team, which is always a surprise, you know? Normally we see a few more
The
on
balls
the
on this man
semi-gimmick team.
to be like, no one's gonna pick up that T-Tart. I'm gonna like, what, like 8th pick that shit? Yeah.
The Doobie 8th pick, yes.
Madman. I don't care what everyone else says. It's such a drop off from T-Tar to any other Sandsetter. T-Tar is a
Oh,
Pokemon
100%.
in which you are happy to bring every week.
The only thing I would argue for the GPA is Terra Hippo,
Fair.
but then you are also using up your Terra.
Yeah.
And if you are tearing out of the ground type, you're then taking Sandstorm Chip as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would. This team, the first 3 months, I think are very solid.
Yeah. Honestly, the first three and then
Men's
a
is
T-Tar can like
questionable.
smash any team, and that's why
Oh,
it's so
100%.
high rated. Like, once I play against Spectre, Drill, and a hand,
Mm-hmm.
one. Shit's terrifying.
And then you've got Enamorous and Men's, who are both like scary offensive threats, but at the same time, they are your ground immunities, and you don't really want your team is this weak to ground. Like, he's got the extra, he's got the T-Tar, he's got the Iron Hand, he's got bloody Pheasantipity. He's got so many ground weaknesses. You don't want your two ground immunities being some of your scariest like setup ones.
Yeah. Like, not everyone
There's
would know
also
the Cove, don't get me wrong, but like the Cove would be fit on this team. Like, even a Skarm, even a
Mhm.
Celesteela, any of those three would have been nice on this team. And Celesteela, like, was left to the end, so like, you know, if Celesteela on this
Oh,
team, it would
100%.
have gone in. Like, I know you're duplicating the Steel type, but I think when you have a Drill on your team, you just want to duplicate the Steel type because it's not acting like a defensive Steel type ever.
No, 100%. It's there to smash.
Yeah, literally. You've picked it with T-Tar, it's there to smash.
But outside that, Pleasant Nifty feels okay. I feel it being its terror, not so good.
No.
I feel Pleasant Nifty already has a good job. Poison Fairy, solid typing.
Yeah.
You need something to partner with that, not I'm gonna make it my terror and then I don't know what happens to the rest of the points, you know? Like, Enamorous feels great mon by himself, you know? I feel like he suffers a bit from wanting to run like Specs bullshit.
Yeah.
And you can't because he's a flying type. But I don't know why he's there.
Yeah.
I don't know
think
why the Arbelover's
if
there. I
this
don't know why
was
the Bashana's there, you know?
Yeah, I think if this was my team, I'd drop either the Salamence or the Enamorous, or even both.
Yeah, like I could
Maybe
see both going, honestly.
bye-bye to the Argbalaga as well, and maybe bye-bye to the no, definitely bye-bye to the Mushina, and maybe even Gastro. But Gastro's fine, I think. I think Gastro's okay.
This team as well with ice. It only, I don't. Does Tito resist ice? I'm being retarded.
No,
I don't think he
Tito
does. No,
does not know.
he has no ice resist whilst having Ments be quad weak. And like, mind you, he doesn't have any actual weaknesses to ice
He has
outside
two,
Arbalover.
but like
Arbalover,
free
Enamorous,
instantly,
and
yeah.
Ments, yeah.
Just turn
But
up
like,
Crest with Ice Beam is just so free.
literally, like your bundle is going in, you know?
Yeah. Press Ice Beam and vibe.
I don't know. I feel the Gastro works nicely, but he does not fill the role as a water type at all.
No.
He does not resist water, which is another type that this team has issues with.
When your water resist is a Salamence, and guess
And
what?
an Arbalover.
Yeah. Just Albalova just ain't that good of a Pokemon, I don't think.
No, I think it's like Abolov. I don't know. It's meant to be fucking Olive, but it's not good enough for me to learn its name properly, you know?
No, exactly.
But yeah, I think but you have Storm Drain, Gastro, don't get me wrong, for the water actual immunity, which we should probably not overlook that smell.
Yeah.
But either way, I feel Gastro just does not want to be on this team. I also rate having a secondary ground type over extra drill. It's very similar to
Yeah.
he doesn't feel the ground or he doesn't feel the steel type, you know?
No, yeah.
He's just there as an omni type threat. He doesn't do the defensive shit that ground and steel are meant to do.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm not sure I rate a Gastro. Like Gastro is great for the hazard side,
I think it's
but
not
talking about
too
hazards,
bad, 'cause it doesn't
his only
shoot
defogger being men's is an issue.
massive issue. I think if you want to get rid of, well, to be fair, it's got spin on drill as well. We don't want to run spin drill.
If you're running spin drill, like the whole reason we're scared of this team
It's
has gone.
Yeah, literally.
That thing needs to be SD, EQ, Ironhead, and then like
Rock slide, basically.
Rock Slide or whatever move to bloody hit whatever mon's dealing with the Ironhead EQ. You know?
Which is not many because this is an extra drill.
Oh, literally. Like Spectria, great mon. He can just vibe in the back, waiting for drill to do his damage, and then he comes in at the end and sweeps with bloody Shadow Ball bullshit.
Yeah.
Iron Hands does a great job as well. He's like a budget Melmoth in my eyes, you know?
It's like
Really
a second
fat.
breaker. Like,
Yeah, literally. He's just a fat defensive wall that you can't one shot, and he's going to do some damage with his 140 base attack.
yeah.
Mence, I don't know what's doing there.
No.
Pheasantipity works fine on the team. Don't know why it had to be its Terra though. Gastro, honestly, the Terra Gastro I would have rated over the Terra Fez.
Yeah. I
Especially with Storm Drain, you know,
hmm Especially when
you
you don't
can
need
do
a
some
ground type as
shenanigans.
much, and you can change it to
Mm-hmm. Literally. But yeah, I feel the team just has so many weaknesses with ground, ice, bloody water to an extent, but you got Gastro, I suppose. But like, it's just relying on this Mence, his Dragon type, to fill so many of his resistances. To where this Mence wants to come bloody defensive most weeks, and I feel that's not what you get a Mence for. I feel if you want to do that, you get a D Knight, and even then, I would debate a Dragonite on the team when you don't have good hazard removal, and you've got Sandstorm Chip to break the multi scale.
Even just on Noivern, like Noivern gets U-turn and defog and roost.
And he's just as good as a wall, in my opinion, as
Yeah.
Mence.
Also, would give this like a bit of extra speed control. Like, don't get me wrong, with Spectre and
Mhm.
Drill, you don't need speed control that bad, but just
Oh,
something
100%.
to like just give it a mid-tier speed mon.
And a speedy
Well,
pivot is
control.
always nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel the Enamorous, Arbolover, and Mushana, not sure what they're doing. The Mence and Gastro are both on the fence for me. They have their purposes on the team, but I think it's for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think the team is like good offensively, really good offensively, and it has
Oh,
like
very good offensively.
enough of a wall cut to get it up this high. Like,
I think it's arguably one of the scariest teams in the league offensively.
yeah.
But I feel it just falls short when it's like when the sand runs out, you know? You come against some protection shenanigans to delay the sand. It's gonna struggle when the sand goes.
Yeah.
Like you're really bringing that Mence in on like a Tinglu that's trying to EQ the Excadrill or some shenanigans.
hmm
But yeah, I don't know. The team is very scary, but then has a lot of shortcomings when it comes to its defensive abilities.
And the lack of removal, like
Oh, literally.
Spike's Gastro is a
Okay.
nice addition though over like Gastrodon's lifespan currently getting into this gen.
Oh,
Makes
100%. The
makes
spikes is the only reason I see the Gastro doing stuff. But yeah, you good to move on?
Yeah, I think that's enough said about this team.
Yeah, yeah. Next should be Crossbow. Not going to pronounce that name unless you want to try. I don't know how you pronounce Valdosta.
Valdosta. That's as close as I was gonna get.
Yeah, literally. Oh man, it's another team that suffers from some really solid first few picks, and then just slightly questionable ones after that.
Yeah, it's
Like,
very.
I'm a massive fan of Doug Trio. Arguably one of the biggest fans of Doug Trio.
Hmm.
But I don't know why he's here. Like, is he here to trap the fire types for Scissor? Like,
I mean, I think he's just
electric
trying to.
types from the pegs? I don't
I
know.
think he's just trying to replicate like Stall with
Mm.
with a
Still
trio.
Dougie.
Yeah, which was like very popular back in the day, but
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's that good.
But I feel like the stall is falling off when I just don't think the team's going to do too good with stall. Like, don't get me wrong, Mega Scissor, Glycor, and Pex, solid trio.
Nova.
But then you've got a Weavile there, you've got an Infernate there.
Mm-hmm.
The Terra Wochen feels so pointless.
Yeah.
Like, you really just want to Terror and vibe with Leech Seed? It feels very, I'm just saying, like, very crossbow. Like, I remember with him in the Shaman Leech Seed, you know? He loves the Leech Seed shenanigans, but I just don't see it being that viable with the team
It
it's on.
gets knock right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
good
think it's, I
knock.
think it's alright. It's just a pain. It's a pain in the ass to deal with. It gives him like the grass and the dark type that he may need. I know we shat on like Zarude for being a grass and the dark type, but I think like this Pokemon, they brought it to be defensive thing. It's going to be defensive.
It's also
No
his
matter how it
Terror, so
stacks
it
up.
can just
Yeah.
fuck off. It's a
Exactly.
bug weakness.
It could just be whatever the team needs for that week because of the power
Mm-hmm.
of a defensive terror.
Oh, 100%.
And because of that, I think it's pretty good. But like the
And
thing
I
with
think like
everything,
the typings are very well, like the weaknesses, sorry, and resistances
yeah.
are quite well spread out.
I think the thing after it is what, in my opinion, like I don't know what that thing was for. Why is there a
Wisdom
Wisdom
Cut?
Cup? Yeah.
I
I
don't
think in
know. Isn't that
theory,
thing like a good amount of points as well?
I think it's a decent amount, like somewhere near 10, I think.
Yeah, I feel like the Wismacut, Lantern, and Regirock really are where this team kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
Like all three of them could have just been another final solid mom. Like Infernape's solid mom, but then those three just you see them, you're like, oh, what are they doing? You know, really scared of the Iron Defense Regirock with Resto Chesto. I feel like you just don't care that much.
Nova. I also don't like the defoggers are your Mega Scissor and your Gliscor.
Oh, that is one of the biggest weaknesses of the team for sure. Like, don't get me wrong, you've got hazards out of the fucking wazoo with Gliscor, and you just stack the hazards before they stack the hazards on you. Sure, but you've got a Weavile.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Dougie, who wants to be running like Sash or Band and does not appreciate
Yeah.
spikes or T-spikes chip over time.
Yeah. Like I feel like Weavile don't
You've,
mind the hazard stack and the hazard stack games. Neither does
he does live
Pex.
with boots for sure.
Yeah. But like the Scissor, Scissor can never bring anything but the Mega stuff.
Oh, I literally like a rock and a spike, unless you're set on boots pegs, is just chipping the team down over time. Like one spike and one boot, one rock. The scissors taking bloody 25 pretty much every time it comes in.
Scissor hates
Like,
playing with hazards up.
mm-hmm. And if you want to be playing these hazard wars, you're doing that with your guy score,
Yeah.
who is one of the two defoggers. Which don't get me wrong, you have Wismacart defog, and maybe that was the true reason for the Wismacart. But I hope not, because it's a Wismacart. And just like Klefki, I do not rate it
No,
as a defogger.
I agree.
It works on HO, sure, but not on Stall with Dougie.
Every time you set up these hazards, you're just gonna end up having them either defogged by them because there's no punish for defog on this team, or just
Mm-hmm.
defogged by yourself because you don't want to be hazard stacked against.
Oh, 100%.
Like if I don't know, this the Gliscor just feels out of place on this team, or like the Gliscor and the Scissor,
Literally.
because we talk about having to like,
I think going on to that though real quick, the knockoff spam on this team is nice.
yeah,
Like for the boots, for the hazard stacking, and for Dougie's shed tail,
shed
the
shell.
knockoffs, well shed shell, yeah, they work so well together. But again, it's so risky to be hazard stacking with Gliscor, because do you really want to be running defog on the scissor?
No, and at the same time, there's just no point hazard stacking if you're gonna have to defog on my way because the Scissor can't deal with
Mm-hmm.
anything that's hazard up.
Literally. Like, don't get me wrong, you can knock off all the boots you want, but
your
I
Scissors
would argue Mega Scissor is like not happy with it. Even a rock and a spike, as I said, being up, let alone full hazards on both sides.
exactly. Like we said earlier, the Scissors can never have boots. It's always
Mm-hmm.
there, and also like Scissor wants to come in and out. It's not
Literally,
a Pokemon that wants to just come in like once and set up. I mean, it can be that Pokemon.
it
But
can be
like,
Mr. SD in the back, but he'd rather be running around with U-turn
yeah,
and chunking the shit out of things.
literally. I feel like you can already do the setup job with the Weavile and with the Infernape.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them like fairly good SD users.
Like, especially as this Scissor is like your go-to psychic answer as well.
Hmm.
Like, don't you got Wochen, I suppose, but you're most likely going to terror that outside of a dark type.
Yeah.
I feel like Scissors wanting to come in a lot on any psychic threat, any good grass type, you know?
Yeah.
Realistically, he's coming in a lot to the point where the hazard stacking is just going to lose its footing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Really solid team. Just honestly, really needs a rapid spinner.
Yeah. Like, even if it was like a bad Rapid Spinner,
Oh, 100%.
like something that you can just slap on, or you could just be like to the enemy team, be like, you don't want to hazard stack against me because I might happy Rapid Spin, and in which case
Hmm.
that's wasted a lot of your time, and my hazards are still staying. Like the
Oh,
Blastoise that
literally.
we took the piss out of earlier. Actually, fair, not with the packs, but you know, something along the Blastoise's lines.
Talking about when we took the piss out, Psychozar. Great example.
Yeah, yeah. Could be really good, just like pivot in, take away the
Hmm.
hazards, fuck off with its fast U-turn.
Literally. Like, and I feel like that might be. I haven't checked the points, but that's easily possible with getting rid of Wismacott, Lantern, and Regirock.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. And
I
also,
feel like,
the exact Pokemon like you just want to get rid of on this team. I don't know
hmm
what they do.
like every mon I rate on this team, except for maybe the Wochen, though I can see its purposes. It's just a bit mid in my opinion. Wismacott I do not rate on this team at all.
No.
Lantern, no. Regirock has its footing as a cheap boy, but like outside that, I don't know why those three are here.
Yeah.
Everything else just makes a really scary team
It's funny to see the Lantern losing its like best matchup.
against the fish.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best matchup though, because like
Best matchup for it.
fish gets fucking EQ anyway.
Well, what? Why is the Lantern come then? Like, when are you ever
I
gonna
feel like
lose
he's
that
just
shit?
I don't fucking know. I feel like if it was Terror, I could kind of see its reasoning.
Yeah.
But you have Volt Absorb and Water Absorb, and you just Terror vibe.
Yeah.
But like he's not even one of the Terrors because it's gone to Wismacott. So
I think if like
again,
it's good against the Terra Electric types, to be fair. Like,
oh, 100%.
but
Like they just Terror Grass.
yeah, but then they lose to the Gliscor.
Do they though?
I mean,
What is Gliscor doing to the Grass types?
toxic baby.
Do you think he takes two Terror Grass moves?
I mean, if he's max with death, probably. I mean,
Possibly, yeah.
not if for specs. If for specs, he's not taking two Terra Grass, Terra Blasters.
Literally.
But if for not specs, then like yeah, he probably eats two.
Yeah, I feel like Wochen does a better job at shutting down the electric, like Terror Electric boys anyway.
Yeah, fair. I'd agree on that. Like,
No, I don't know. The team is a very cool, intimidating team. It just needs a spinner. Like I think you mentioned already before when we were rating the teams, Terrabagosa is the only time we would rate 17 points for Terrabagosa would be on this team.
On this team so good. You don't even have a normal type yet, and like
Hmm.
the fighting weakness is covered by the Pex and the Gliscor.
Oh,
Works
literally.
very well.
Like if you look at the type charts as well, his most weak type is fighting, which is insane given he has a Gliscor and a Pex.
I mean, if you place the Regirock with this Terraprogosa, it's not like you've gained weaknesses on fighting anyway.
Oh, literally.
And like some of those fighting weaknesses are like fake fighting weaknesses, like
Oh, it's like Wochen.
you're like yeah, like the Wochen.
And it's a quad weak to Weavile, which, like, let's face it, your Weavile's dying to anything anyway. Doesn't matter if it's a fighting move.
Literally.
But yeah. Very cool team. Hence why it's in the B rating. I think, like, anything B onwards is where they really stand out compared to the rest of the teams we've looked at so far.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You know, like, this team is missing one or two things to make it a true, like, arguably quote unquote perfect draft. You know?
It's missing that Terrapogas, baby. Get him in there.
Where the
Spend those
turtle?
17 points. Fuck your shitty Whimsicott. Get him gone.
I think it'd be Wo Chen disappearing as well for the Terrapogosa. Or Infernape. Did I rate Infernape? Yeah, you need 17 fucking points.
How much
Whimsicott, Lantern, and Regirock aren't 17 points overall. And if they are, then we need to have a serious talk with Crossbow.
An epic.
Surely they're like fucking 12 combined. I'll go check. They are no, they're 18 combined. Never mind. They're 5, 6, and 7.
Yes,
He could literally get a Terrapogosa and a 1-pointer.
Yeah. They still have the 9 that you need. He's in.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to win the league with that Terrapoga.
Oh, fucking 100%. He's climbing those viability rankings with that.
Exactly. First place if he gets Terrapogas.
Confirmed. Dear. But yeah, you got anything else to say?
Pick up Terrapogas.
Nice. Well, for the next one, gonna bring Drum back in because you can't talk about your own team and the pile of garbage that you've built. Go Drum, go!
Attack!
You're lucky
Attack!
What did you say, sorry, Drum?
You're lucky that I'm still here.
Well, go on then, do something.
That's what I say to my team.
And they never do anything, they just sit there and die.
And somehow win.
Overall, it starts off really good.
Yeah.
You can't ever say no because Cinderace. I don't think you get a better.
I like how it looks like a first pick Cinderace as well.
Yes.
It's not. It's not. But
first pick bundle or
yeah, it's a first pick bloody Iron Valiant that he traded away for a bundle. You want to make fun of Mr. Mega Diancie instead of a Polt, and then he trades the Valiant away for a bundle?
Yeah, I do. I think the difference between Valiant and Bundle is lower than the difference between Diancie and Polt, so I feel justified.
That's fair. I think it's minor, the difference, but I do agree the difference is there.
Go on, Drum, sorry.
Yeah, go on, Drum.
What'd you say, sorry?
Is it minor though? How much damage is a high pump penguin thing on bundle going when it misses?
That's right, yeah. When it misses beyond. Shit, Pokemon confirmed. Hydro Pump Bird.
Indeed.
No, but yeah, I think overall the team is okay. You got the two main threats in Cindy and Iron Bundle. You got both of them have pivot moves. One's a physical attacker, one's a special attacker. Everything's going well. Every mon on the team gets a pivot move, except Ursula and Blood Moon. And that's where everything starts being very questionable, in my opinion. Like, Slowking, he's great. He pops off. But the wall core on this team is Slowking. Like, you have Ursula and Blood Moon. He comes in. He's very scary. He hits like a fucking truck. But he is the Fizz Def wall on the team. And most weeks he's walling the electric types. And I've heard it.
But are usually special attackers.
Most electric types are special attackers. So his amazing 52 Spadef is going to be tested to the point where, as we've already seen, the Rotomo is doing a lot more work at walling the electric types.
Rotomo is just doing way too much work.
He really is. Only reason you're winning half your games is thanks to the Rotomo. But like, the team is a weird one because you have Scizor as your primary defogger, which we've already spoken about with Crossbow's team. You don't really want to. I would argue defog on normal Scizor a lot better than defog on Mega Scizor because not only does Mega Scizor do the SD a bit better, I would also say, normal Scizor can run fucking boots or lefties.
Yeah.
One big problem as well with his team He has no hazards whatsoever.
Nah, got
He has
T
T-spikes on Dragalge, mate.
Oh, okay.
Popping
My bad.
off.
He's got the
yeah.
worst
But
hazards.
yeah, he does have the worst just hazards in general.
I'm
But he has court change, baby, on Cinderace.
big.
And that scares everyone from setting up the rocks. Even though, realistically, the Cinderace is going to want to come banded a lot of times. But, like, that then comes into the problem of Bundle and Cinderace are only really scary when they're choiced. And with a team that has no hazards to prevent people from defog, like, to make people defog their own hazards away, you also only have Scizor as your defogger with a powerful Terra Rotomo. You're going to have issues because you're going to need to play quick with Bundle and Cinderace because your team can't really play slow, you know? Like, yeah.
Nah,
I don't think
I can stall with any team. That's exactly a credit to a team.
that's only when that Tatsugiri doesn't want to kill your whole team, you know? Oh dear. No, because it had Draco, Mono Draco, baby.
Yeah.
But too big.
I think Rotom is the primary defogger, not that it makes my team any better, but I do.
No, for sure. I think you do want to defog more often on him.
Yeah.
Scizor being like banded or SD,
Yeah.
or just an annoying U-turning roosting annoyance is better, especially with knockoff as well.
Considering we gave change suggestions to other people.
Oh yeah, Zapdos Galar needs to go.
Yeah, I agree. I think that shit needs to go
As
for like
his number one fan,
months.
it pains me,
Yeah.
but yeah, he does the same things as Cinderace,
Mhm.
and arguably even the same as Scizor. You know,
Yeah, I'd agree.
you do not need him on the team, and except for a very needed ground immunity outside Rotomo, he does not really offer much to the team.
Literally.
And don't get me started on the fact you have no flying resist,
Yeah, baby.
or the fact that your only rock resist is an Ursa and a Blood Moon, which means any rock type that can kill Ursa and Blood Moon, known as a Terrakion, an Ogerpon Cornerstone, many other boys, are shitting on your day outside you having Terra Steel Rotomo, who can do its job, but only so far, you know?
Agreed.
Especially against a Terrakion. I don't think the Terra Steel Rotomo is going to pop off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a weird Beyond team because it's not really your playstyle for the semi-decent walls and then two scary offensive threats that kind of want to use choice all the time. But yeah,
Yeah, I kind of
so
rock
it's a
with
weird one to really
the
mention on.
with the cheap walls. Like I like Among Us, I like Alomomola. I kind of rock with
Mm-hmm.
those a fair amount, but like I usually rock with the walls that are just walls, and so like through them just being walls, them being a mid-tier wall makes them a better wall because like that's all they're doing. Hence why they're rated in that rating. But like
Oh,
Scizor,
100%. You get more of them.
yeah, exactly. With Scizor, you gotta like take into account he's like good offensively, but my team gets forced to be defensively most weeks. Same with Rotomo to an extent, although I'd rate the Rotomo for 10 points with Terra for a defensive wall anyway, because I think that shit's like doing God's work.
Oh, literally. I think Scarf stuff is always
Still
fun though on
good,
Rotomo as
yeah.
well.
And like the walls are always forced into walls, but they're not good at being
Mm-hmm.
walls. I like the Rotomo and the Scizor.
I was gonna say it's a weird one with all your walls are arguably leading into the bulky offense outside Slowking, and even then Slowking can hit like a truck if he really wants to,
Yeah.
compared to things like a Lolamola or Dino.
Mhm.
But
Like,
like,
I'd say
hang
other than
on.
the Rotomo, and the Slowking, which is two Pokemon to be fair, but like my best two next walls are the Scizor and the Blood Moon, and their best
Mm-hmm.
qualities are their offensive qualities.
Oh, literally. I would say you've got Dashbun as a wall as well, but he does have a mighty 57 HP,
Yeah,
which don't get me wrong, is technically more than Rotomo, but like, I feel like if you're bringing a Dashbun, you're already at a disadvantage, let alone claiming it as one of your walls.
he is the just needs must. I need that fairy type right now.
Mm-hmm.
Here is Dashbun, baby.
He is your any fighting type that can beat up Slowking. He is the deterrent. He's not the answer because he's never coming, but he's the deterrent to stop them from running the mighty fighting type that beats up Slowking.
Yeah. Please don't. I've got a dash button, you know.
Hmm.
I've got a dash button.
Literally,
And
he's the dashboard, man.
fucking Dragalgi. Don't want to bring that
I use the
fucking type.
flying move.
No, exactly.
But
Oh,
yeah, I think the team is still solid. It's just it's more fast paced than I'd expect from you.
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I was hoping Drum would slate you more, you know.
No, I get called off when I call beyond bag, so I don't do it
That's a fair
anymore.
point, to be fair.
No, no, no.
Not allowed. You got a free pass this month, so like,
Yeah, it's a free pass right now.
yeah. Like, complain, but like when you got the chance to take a shot, you know, you're not shooting.
Your team's fine. You just run out of points.
Oh,
Like the
that means the
last
team's
game.
not fine. That means the team's really shit.
I was gonna say Crossbow had that problem until I realized he wasted 18 points on those free Pokemon. But yeah, I feel your team could lose the last three quite easily.
Yeah. It can't, but
I mean, it can, but I don't know
and he's
what
not.
before.
Problem.
He also has already maxed out his trades, so it's not like he
No.
can.
Oh,
Got
shit.
two left.
My bad.
Exactly.
Can't get rid of all three though, can you?
I mean, you are right.
Dashbun's staying around forever.
I feel like
Unironically, think I'm more likely to keep the Dragalgi than the Dashbund.
I only say the Dashbun because he's less points, you know.
I feel like you're better off dropping all three, picking up kill 1 pointers that you're never ever gonna win, and then just get one really good.
That's the Beyond Special.
Yeah,
I've only
which you
got
haven't done it this time.
I've only got 2 trades left, so I can't.
I'm still waiting for the Mega Mobile personally.
But I've already got offensive threats out the ass. I need the walls.
But there are no walls left.
Exactly. That's
All the
what's
walls are
problem.
gone.
The wall gobblers turned up, crossbow tail up, and like took like 50 of the fuckers for no reason.
Oh, and the next person we're going to talk about took all the walls as well.
Good segue. Send us in.
Literally. Talking about walls and stall. Where is he? There he is. Oh, what is a base 100 speed Pokemon? We don't know.
I do like the
But,
stat of the average stat being 63.6 for speed.
Look at that average HP stat. That's nasty.
That is monstrous, and that is when you've had to play with a Mega
Mega
Sableye as
Sableye?
well. Yeah.
Literally. Oh dear. I don't know. It's a really cool theme in principle. Where it can be executed is another story.
Did it change from store without walls to store with all the walls?
Indeed. All the walls and a dumb Manitan to shit on anyone's day that dares to like lock him the weird way.
Literally, store breaking Togekiss always nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think Golden Go and Great Tusk underrated for their offensive potential.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think I mentioned already, like, Milotic works so well on this team because normally it doesn't offer any utility. You know, compared to other water types that sometimes have defog or this or that. Hazards like rocks, like the Gastros or the Quags. Milotic's or like teleport fucking chilly reception shit with the Kings. Milotic doesn't offer the utility, but he doesn't need to on this team, you know?
Gets flip turn, to be fair, I think.
It does get flipped on 100%. But I meant like chilly reception for like the hail utility side. But yeah, like it also doesn't mind having the flame orb as much because normally you can run boots on like a water type if you're scared of the hazards. But on this team, you're not scared of hazards because you have Mega Sableye and you have a Great Tusk. You know, you have arguably the best hazard control in the draft by a country mile.
Yeah, literally.
And then you've got Dom and Great Tusk to break on the physical side. You've got Goldengo and Togekiss to break on the special side. You've got Tangrowth, Milotic, and Blissey to eat hits for a whole day long. You can't set up on the team really because not only you got Mega Sableye to Willow, you've got Clodsire with Unaware. You know, the team's solid in my opinion.
Yeah,
You don't want to bring status moves because you got Goldengo and Mega Sableye asking you to Toxic or T-Wave. You know? I would argue the team would be weak to Ghost, but they have a Blissey. Mind you, it is a Terra Blissey, so might accidentally shoot himself in the foot when he turns it into a non-normal type. But like, he's still tanking the fucking Shadow Balls all day long because it's a Blissey.
Yeah.
And not like he was really dealing with the Poltergeist threats anyway, so...
No.
And like Tangrowth is right there for all the Poltergeists.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the team is very solid. It's not easy to break, which you'd expect from a stall team. It has Dom, who, for once, doesn't have to run boots, because, again, the hazard controllers are the wazoo. I just think, yeah, very, very solid team.
I agree.
I would argue it higher if it wasn't arguably kind of slow.
Yeah, very slow. And if you can like break this Mega Sableye, it can capitulate as a team.
100%. It's a team that is very strong thanks to Goldengo and Sableye, and arguably Great Tusk. But once you break through that wall core, like that's not the wall core, I say, but like the utility core, I suppose, you are then quickly getting through the rest of the team.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of the team is so strong thanks to those three, to where if those three get taken down, it's becoming a very quick game to finish, which is why the Dharm is nice. However, if you're running stall and you do get into a situation where you need to finish the game quickly, you're probably looking at a loss.
Indeed. Unless you can just like pray, but Dom, not G Dom, sorry, can just like win sack wars. Which it
Oh,
can, which is
100%.
why that thing's so good on this team is like if you take away the fire resist, like it can just win the sack wars with a scarf and sheer force.
For sure.
But that's not the position you want to be in. And majority of the time they'll just have the fire resist.
Oh, literally. But yeah, honestly, I don't have much to say about the team. It was shit before we came and fixed it, so we have a slight bias, of course.
Exactly.
Because
I think one of the
but-
biggest downsides that's like not actually a downside on the team, but like it's kind of like in a grey area, is I think this team is hard to execute.
I agree with that. Like compare it to All Stars team earlier,
Yeah, they
that
should.
we rated so highly because how easy it is to use. I would argue this team is probably the hardest in the draft to use.
Just turn up and like that team was turn up and smash. This team's like pick your moments, go into your correct count.
You've got to get that Mega Sableye up. You've got to. There's so many moving pieces in this team. Where if any of them go wrong, you're looking at a bad time.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm a bit concerned for Eric, but I believe in him. You know, true turning point. You know,
Exactly.
to pop off. It's his
Turning
training
point
arc. You know,
in his Pokemon career
exactly.
from shitter to slightly less shitter.
Exactly. If he pulls his team off, to be fair, like credit where credit's due.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, like I think this team, like we said earlier, is really good. It's just hard to execute. Doesn't necessarily mean he's like very bad at the game if you can't execute it.
Oh, 100%.
It's just very hard. But given like if you give it someone who pilots it very well, I think it's highly effective.
Oh, I think it'd be the best team in the league if it can be piloted well.
Yeah.
Like I don't see it easily losing. I would argue it's still got its weaknesses. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of the walls on the team are one-dimensional. Like outside Milotic and maybe Togekiss, Clodsire, Tangrowth, and Blissey are all heavy on one side and not so on the other. And you got Mega Sableye as well, but like for this purpose, I don't really want to classify Mega Sableye as a wall. He is a wall. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like on this team, he's there to get rid of hazards.
Yeah, he's
you know,
the no hazards wall. The utility mon, like we called him earlier. Maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is nice because I think like the addition of these walls on this team mean that like in the past he was like, oh, I have to wall all these physical threats. It's like no, I have to wall the physical threat that's setting up rocks or like the special threat.
Literally.
So it just simplifies his job so much more, so he's less likely to die.
Oh, literally, and it's not like many fairy types have a hazards anyway.
Yeah, and like now he's not got as many offensive mons. Like he has still got some. Every team needs some, but not as
Mhm.
many. You're more freely pressing that recover button to keep it at full HP all the time, and you
Oh,
hard switch to
100%.
your wall afterwards. And
And
you
like,
don't
if they
feel
do
bad.
start setting up on your Mega Sableye, you have Clodsire right there if we weren't aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the few teams where like we see a handful of duplicate types. You know, you have Ground and Ghost, and maybe another one, but that's all I see at the most: Ground and Ghost. But it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
It's fine that there's those multiple types because they just work so well in like combination. But the Pokemon anyway, like it doesn't matter necessarily that the typings might be questionable when the Pokemon themselves work well.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I will admit, big flying weakness and ice weakness on the team. Ice and flying going in on the team. But you got Milotic, you got Gordingo.
Mhm.
You can work around said weaknesses. But like, yeah, that's why I don't think it would be a perfect team by far. It's got its gimmick, I suppose. You know, Hazard's mine, not yours. The gimmick, and it's followed Stall after that,
Yeah.
and it works well. But if it is that good, we'll have to see. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. It's one of those teams where like it could just be like actually just like too hard to pull off. Like you have to make too many plays, and if they catch you at one moment, it's just game over. It's just like you have to do too much compared to how much they have to do. But it's
Oh,
hard to
100%.
tell just looking at it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I
Anyway,
think
moving on.
yeah,
Got a Miraculous Strikers by the one and only Miraculous. Man, offensive as shit those first 2 months with a Mega Gallade.
yeah,
Like Lando I, Gren, like it's complete opposite to the team we just saw, you know?
yeah,
It's here to just kill you as quick as it can with Vero, Terra Moltres, Clef, and Crest just kind of not letting you break it down as quickly. But yeah.
it's just a very nice balanced team, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got momentum with the Moltres and the Clef. And
Literally.
obviously the offensive ones, but I'm more focused on the defensive momentum.
Yeah, for sure.
Hazard stacking with the Ferrothorn. It's a Terra Moltres, so like it's not going to get killed by a knockoff, which is always nice. And the fact that
Oh,
we've got
100%.
like a Caress and a Landawai to be ground immunities, so it doesn't have to only fulfill that job as the Moltres. It's very nice in my opinion.
I personally think this Moltres is going to fill its job as a great flame body catcher,
Yeah.
and it's just going to be an annoying default roost flamethrower U-turn
Mhm.
with flame body and whatever terror type it needs for that week.
Yeah. The fact that you can terror it whatever it wants to be to wall like
Mm-hmm.
their biggest physical threat and still have the ground immunity on
And
the
still have
Caress.
Pharaoh as well.
Yeah, so nice.
Like I personally, like I would argue I could see it being poison for the Pharaoh getting beaten up by like fighting or whatever. But then you've got Clef and Cress anyway for the fucking fighting. Like
Mhm.
it's a weird wall call where I feel it's a questionable like group of Pokemon, but they just work weirdly well together.
Yeah. The only thing that I'd questioned on this team really is the Fundy. I don't think it works that
Mm,
well. I think
no,
though it
100%.
gets U-turn and Volt Switch, is that Fundy I or Fundy T? It's Fundy T.
It's Fundy T.
Shit's way too slow to get momentum offensively, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It's cheaper with Volt Absorb, don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah.
feel that Fundy T being either another, I don't say another wall would be great in my opinion,
Yeah, I'd agree.
but yeah, that's what I see it really needing to be.
I
Because
have
like Mega
faith
Lade
though.
is shitting on people's days,
Right.
Lando Eye is, the Gren is,
Yeah.
you know.
I'd rate another offensive one as well, or even just a Pokemon that could do both roles offensively and
Mm-hmm.
defensively.
Like I rate the Fundy T because he's a hard hitting electric type, but that's all he is, you know.
Mhm. Like I feel like Fundy T's best set is unironically Nasty Plot plus Agility.
Oh yeah, double dancing for sure.
And
Like then Lando I also loves double
Landawai
dance.
does double bounce better, and Galade
Mhm.
can run SD. Like,
Yeah, literally, and also the speed tiering with Lando Y and Fundy T is the exact fucking same.
yeah.
And I feel just Landorus just does everything Thunderous wants to do, just better.
Mhm.
Like it's not like you're running specs on your Thunderous T because he's a flying type, and like that is I'd argue one of the issues with this team is defog is a bit questionable. Moltres is a great defogger, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but like
Is
he
definitely
is your only defogger at the end of the day.
helped by the fact that Moltres can so freely terror, but at the same
Hmm
time, it's not the best. Another Pokemon that could defog defensively potentially would be nice. Could
I
Lando
think a Mon to suggest would be a. I mean, he's got the money for it, but a Raging Bolt I feel would fit very nicely on this team if he wants to keep the electric type.
I agree.
He has no of like that Melmetal Pokemon, like the bulky offense, you know, the one that tanks a hit and beats the shit out of you afterwards, kind of thing.
Fair. I think Lando Y and Glade somewhat fill that, but just like nowhere near as good as Melmetal is.
Oh, literally, and he's also like, I feel like Mega Glade can't tank the physical hits too well,
No,
and Lando is praying that you don't have an ice move,
indeed.
which don't get me wrong, isn't saying much, but like a lot of mons get fucking ice beam coverage these days.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
very solid team.
I just think it's a solid team. It's all because there's not much to say. It's just
Yeah, literally just
a solid team.
everything
The
you want them to do.
the walls on paper look so questionable, but then like when you think about it more and more, you're just like, yeah, it's just clean.
Yeah. The only thing that I'd say is like a slight downside is that like Moltres and Clef don't have the best defensive stats. They rely on
Hmm
good typings and like good abilities to make them such
Oh,
good walls,
literally.
which can kind of like mean this team can be like easily wall broken.
I think it can be easily broken for sure, but with Gren Revenge killing, and if they're slow enough, Mega Glade and Lando, I feel like you don't mind the wall breakers coming in.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
only other thing
I
is
think the
like
team is fast paced enough where the three offensive mons are fast paced enough to where the walls do their job
well enough.
like just
Yeah.
well enough by far.
I think one also like small downside is like Clef and Moltres can definitely gain momentum, but like as touched on earlier, Moltres
Pharaoh and
might
Crest are massive momentum sinks.
yeah, not only that, but the Moltres might have to run boots, which makes it harder to gain momentum because you have to press Roost more often. And
Mm-hmm.
Clef's stats not being the best can also mean it has to press recovery moves more often, making it hard to get
Oh,
momentum.
100%.
But other than that, very clean.
Mm-hmm.
The
Actually,
utility,
I'm intrigued to see how well the team performs.
yeah, the utility of Unaware on this team is very nice as well.
Oh,
Because its
100%.
team
Because like
can
you're so
get
scared
slow,
of setup.
yeah, but like Unaware just makes people not want to bring that shit.
Mm-hmm. And even then, I not to throw Mirac under the bus, I would still say Clef can easily be fucking swept on anyway because of how mediocre his defenses are. But just seeing Unaware often stops people anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the team a lot.
Is this the second to last team next?
Yep, it would be Albi. Oh, I can't remember what his team's name is. There it is. Oh, the mons on this team. Ignoring the purple thing. I'm in love with so many of these mons.
Fuck the Crocolock as well. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, no, 100%. But he's a like 2-pointer. I'm pretty sure he can survive.
So it's a Swalot.
I swear, Swalot's like 5.
Nah, Swalot's 1 point.
He's a 1-pointer.
Yeah, don't be dissing Swalot.
Never mind. I
Swalot's
take
better.
it all
Swalot's
back.
better than that shitty Crocolock.
Okay, fair enough. I have nothing bad to say about Purple Nurple.
Exactly. Fuck the Crocolock. He deserves the hate. Nah, but like
You could
Crocolock's
rock Eevio Light Boy.
yeah.
I do think he should have the terror of a Swalot personally, but
Oh, same. I think you pick Swalot for the poison type, so don't change it from the poison type.
literally.
But like,
Yeah, talking about the actual team, except for the 2 points between those two mons.
Crocolock.
Oh, solid Pokemon. Arguably one of the best Pokemon around.
The best defogger in the game, I think.
Oh, by a mile. Got Chomp, great hazard stacking, great setup. Honestly, great U-turn answer, you know.
Yeah.
Sylveon, solid Spadef wall, partners well with Corv in my opinion.
Yep.
Like, and hit hard if you need, but I just rate it more as a good fairy type. Slowbro, solid. And as you've already seen, like 3 of these 4 months all get, you know, pivoting, which we love to see. The brainless momentum gaming is the best way to go.
It is. It is.
Especially when you have Valiant just sitting there waiting. You know? Like Valiant and Cornerstone just breaking anything that dares come in on one of your walls. Feels so nice.
Yep.
Like Zera's got the speed. I would argue Licky Licky, though nice on the team, feels a bit meh because of how much of a momentum dump he is.
Yeah, I think
But
he's
outside that,
kind of like the super glue to be like.
oh, 100%. He's the oh crap, like a spec shadow ball that's breaking my Sylveon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like a banded poltergeist breaking my Sylveon. Go gadget licky, you know?
Go gadget licky licky.
Yeah, I rate the team. Some downsides I would say like Ice shits on his day. A Weavile is a 6-0ing outside a
Nice.
Zeraora outspeeding. And for Valiant can send it with a vacuum wave. But yeah. I don't know. Any thoughts from you beyond? Or Drum?
Just very solid. Like everything I like about everything I want on a Pokemon team. Good pivots, good offensive bonds, hazards. A team that's not weak to hazards. Like, not a singular Pokemon other than the Crocodile, but we're not really going to count him, that's actually weak to hazards.
Oh, literally.
Always nice to see.
And ironic given that you have the best defogger in the game. But like, who cares, you know?
Yeah, like...
It's also nice, a small thing, but Zera having Volt Absorb to go along with Chomp's ground type for the electric communities is very nice because you're not going to fall prey to the almighty Terra Ice Jolteon when you've got Zera there, you know?
Yeah.
Especially as the Terra Ice Jolteon is very mean, given that Sylveon doesn't. I never like seeing Sylveon being Spadef invested. It always feels very mediocre.
Yeah, it's only a thing what you do when you have to, kind of.
Yeah, literally, it's kind of like Florges. You never really invest in the Spadef unless like the threat is too big.
Yeah, either that or it's just got no job to do on the FizzDef side anyway.
Mm-hmm. No side sharks coming to catch you.
No, it feels
Yeah,
like we said so little, but there's nothing.
yeah. Like a lot of the later teams, there's not much to say because it's just so solid. You know, it's hard to really say bad things or criticize. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless Drum has some profound wisdom.
Drum's fucked off by the seams.
He has. He's off to get food. Goddamn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's not the best team. You know, there are better combos I could see. The Sylveon feels a bit weak. The Licky Licky feels a bit weak. Pokemon Cornerstone's nice, but I don't really rate him that high as a Terra. I think he works well as a Terra on this team, mind you. I think it's nice having like a go-to Mon that's not Valiant to beat the shit out of things with.
Yeah.
I think the team is missing a special attacker.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It feels like it's lacking special attackers.
Like Valiant, don't get me wrong. Specs Valiant, Carmine Valiant. Valiant does it all. But do you really want to have to
run special Valiant every
Yeah,
round?
literally.
No. And also, like, I feel like Zeraora can also do special, but like, I think it's better at physical.
For sure.
Like, all his offensive threats are better physically.
I would also argue the team's kind of weak to setup. You know?
Yeah. It doesn't have the best of time revenge killing shit.
No. Doesn't have the best revenge kills outside like Valiant, but you don't really want to be booster energy Valiant to revenge kill.
Yeah, literally.
You've got Ogre that can sure have sturdy, but can't hold boots, so sturdy's not that valuable. Core doesn't really die to many things, but he also doesn't do much back.
Yeah.
Brave Bird and Body Press can pop off. Don't get me wrong, but you need the super effective damage, really.
It doesn't have
If
the
they're
best
not weak to
scarf
Core.
users either. Like there's Chomp.
So you got
That's the only-
Zera,
Chomp is the only scarf Pokemon I'd want to use. I think Zero doesn't hit
and
hard
even
enough to
then,
run a scarf.
oh no, I was about to say Zera just being fast.
Yeah.
In general, but I do agree. Scarf Chomp, I wouldn't really want to use.
I think it's okay, but it's just like
It's okay, definitely, but
it has to come with different roles every week anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that may be also downside of this team is like this Chomp's been lumbered with a lot of defensive roles a lot of weeks.
Oh, 100%.
When I'd really love to see SD
Set
dual
up.
shotting, yeah, or just Scarf or Band or mixed Life Orb even some weeks with like EQ Draco Fire Blast.
Oh, literally. I feel like the Slowbro Sylveon and Corv is enough defensively, and like I said, you've got the what's his face, Zera, to tank electric moves on top of the Chomp.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I don't know. The team is solid. It gets 6-0'd by Iron Bundle, which good news for you. But I don't know. Solid team overall. It feels weak in some areas, but not weak enough to where I would rate it any less. If that makes sense. Like every team's gonna have its flaws.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Good. It's easy as fuck to use.
Oh, it so is.
And it smashes. What else could you want?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Next team, pretty much.
Yeah, buddy. And I hate that it's mine at the top, but we move. It's a sexy team though.
It is. You Dragapult,
If you just look at those top 6, don't look at the bottom 3. That would be nice,
Like the Pivot Core, so nice with Tran, Dragapult, just everyone wants that shit banned seemingly. So
literally.
So
You have Spec, you have Band, you have Setup, you have Hex Willow.
Lando with friends that don't force it to come
Defog, defensive.
every week, which is nice. Lando often
Oh,
gets
literally.
trapped that role. Well, when I use it. But yeah, just
The Mighty Wishfish.
exactly.
I think it's very nice for Tran and Lando.
Yeah, I agree. Don't
you can't freely electric move on the fish if it's wishing up because easy go Lando. Could also just go Tran. Tran's living any hit really that you're gonna hit an Olomola with.
I mean, you just don't want to force out the Amola with electric move because you know it's just going to give free healing to Lando. But
Literally.
very few electric types can one shot a Lando or even two shot it from half. So if your Lando gets half,
Oh,
you
100%.
and the electric type comes in to force it out, it's just you're fucked up. You should have tried to force it out with something that could also kill Lando.
Mm-hmm. I think from experience, one of the weaker parts is Defog. Defog at Florges, fine, but at the same time, feels a bit meh.
Yeah.
Like when you have to bring in the fairy type for that week, it's fine, Have to run the fairy type for an Urshifu or some bullshit like that. Yeah. Florges with Defog is fine.
Yeah.
When you don't want to bring the Florges because the fairy doesn't need to be in the game, it feels a bit rough because you gotta have the Defog Lando.
Literally, I feel like you can have as many defoggers as you want, but you're always going to have a main defogger.
Oh, literally.
Because the types that want to defog are pretty much just flying types. They're really good at it. If you can get a flying type that isn't weak to rocks, they're the best defoggers in the game, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%.
Lando is set of 1 defoggers, and he's just really good at it. Most of the rock setters, steel types, ground types, rock types,
He's sending them all.
You want to switch to Lando in on them, not the Florges. So it's just not a good defogger.
Even spikes and T-spikes, you don't really want to switch in off Florges because you're not going to be boots.
Exactly.
And then you're looking at
is a good Pokemon, and it's a good Pokemon with defog. It's not a good defogger.
Literally.
But what can you do? You only usually have 1 flying type. And those are the best to defog. So it's hard to get a good secondary defog to free Lando. But
oh, 100%.
gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, so some shitter decided he wanted a Raikou on that team, and the fattest waste of 13 points I've ever seen.
12, I'm pretty sure.
But like,
But
the rest of
yes,
the
those
team,
12 points haunt me every night.
rest of the team moves like gnarly, sick gnarly,
Mm-hmm.
and
Cleavor is surprisingly strong.
Cleaver's very good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I think the main issue with the team is it's lacking power. Though sounding weird when you've got a Polt and a wall breaking Tran and a Lando T, it still feels like its power isn't quite there.
I get what you mean. Like,
You definitely don't need the power, but it does feel very slow.
yeah.
You have to like slowly cycle through constantly with the regen boys and hope that your Tran doesn't get chipped quick enough.
I feel like a misconception with Polt is that like it's not good for its offensive potential. It's good for like the fact that it gets to bring specs or band every week because of how fast it is,
Oh, literally.
and it's like really good typing offensively, and good move play as
Mhm.
well.
And like
Hence
it being
why,
that mixed attacker means it's so hard to wall against.
exactly. Hence why you can struggle to like find it as a breaker, because if you get a Pokemon like, I don't know, say a Licky Licky with good defensive stats on both
Mm-hmm.
sides, you're not really gonna break it.
Oh,
Like the majority of the breaking in like matches like that might be left to a double dance Lando, which should, as we just talked about, is forced to run defog a lot of times. So the breaking just really falls upon Tran, and Tran can get chipped, but like the reason Tran's so good on this team is it's because it's paired with the Molar and the momentum, so like it doesn't get chipped that much because you can get the momentum into the Tran,
oh,
or
literally.
you can get the Wish Patch into the Tran, so it doesn't take any damage. And there's two Wish Patches in Florges and the Molar. I know
Mm-hmm.
Florges ain't quite as good. It's still healing like about 45% of its Tran's HP, which is like more than enough because Tran's Tran. It's got like
Oh, literally.
great defenses. It's not taking more than 45 on a
Like
hit.
after a lefties, he's taken 50 after that.
Yeah,
You know,
literally. He's healing 50 off that turn. And like he's never
and like
taken
let's
more
face
than
it, you're never hitting a fucking floor just with a fighting water or a ground move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lando T and Tran being the receivers of the Wish Pass as well is so nice because it's so hard to try and catch one of those. You know,
Mhm.
like one of them's weak to ground, the other is immune to it. The other one's really weak to ice, the other one's quad resist. You know,
Yeah. The only common weakness being the water
water.
type, but
Mm-hmm.
the Molar resists the water.
Literally. And
And
like,
with
do you really want to
those,
give me a free switch to the Polt?
or even just the Molar ends up just flip turning.
Oh, literally.
Like Molar's not like Molar's rather fast for a defensive mob, but like you can always run it negative nature with like minus
Zero
IVs.
IVs,
Yeah,
100%.
to make it slow. It's not got that good of a speed stat.
Yeah.
So you're not forcing it out with a water type. So it's just gonna flip turn into that said mod and get the pass off.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, I just think solid team. Of course, got the bias because I built it and I built it based off what I think you Beyond would have picked. Therefore, we both probably got a high bias to
All
it, but
biased. All my
it
favorite
feels
Pokemon.
very, very cracked.
Mhm.
Like I said,
Like I think
just the Raikou feels really shit.
there's 4 Pokemons on this team in which I haven't won a championship with, so at least half of this team I've won a championship with, so slight
Hmm.
biased,
Literally.
just a slight bit. And like these Pokemon were also my favorite Pokemon before even playing in the GPA. Like I'd run fucking Pult, Lando, Tran,
Tran and Lando is such a combo.
every team. So
Hmm.
very biased towards those mons.
Oh, 100%.
Think they're correct. But yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all right.
Yeah. Any leaving comments?
No, I'm pissed that Drum's not here to do the outro though.
Literally, man.
What are we paying him for, man?
2 jobs. Outro.
Intro and outro?
And yeah, literally. Like he's
God.
just like dodged. But if I did leave some leaving comments, I just like, oh fucking
I say you can go to rankings if you want, so you can get like the overall.
yeah. Scroll to the top.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. It might be me. I feel like teams are getting worse in the GPA. I don't know.
Worse.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I feel like there's so many teams at the moment that just feel that it's like they're being thrown at a target, and then they just miss the mark. You know, like, you can see where the team had potential, and then you can just see where the picks just kind of changed and just went their own way, and it just like didn't work for the first few months. Just don't match the last months.
I don't want to single people out, but like people who I often expected to make good teams, like Crossbow and Zeus. To be fair, Crossbow's team this season has been better in my opinion than his teams in past seasons. I don't know what his team was doing last season. I hated it, but this season's
Oh
looking
yeah, we
good.
don't talk about last season's team.
So like I won't mention Crossbow in bad teams this season, but like Zeus, who I always thought made a lot of good teams in the past.
Mm.
I don't get Ordino HO, to be honest.
No.
Just not my cup of tea. Ironic how it beat me this season, but like just because he beat me doesn't mean like it's a good team.
I'm sure it's very much a team where it's going to catch you off with Quiver Dance Volk or SD Wellspring,
Yeah.
or it's going to lose.
Mhm.
Like another one is SD Trailblaze, buddy. Mega Herocross might catch someone off as well, but like it's going to catch people off with setup, or it's not going to win.
Yeah, literally.
And like for me anyway, I don't rate that being a good team.
Neither. I don't think a team that forces like 50s or like predicting around setup is a good team. I think giving your team those options is
Is
absolutely fine.
important.
Yeah, literally.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think basing your team around that is good. You're basically just running HO, in which point, why have this Ordino? Why not just like rock out with like a Pokemon with sturdy rocks and explosion?
Indeed. Also, I need you to go after you finish the recording to go and see how many times you said Ordino, because I think this thing is on your mind.
I just don't rate the Pokemon. I used it in
No, yeah.
like a previous season, and I'm pretty sure I didn't use it until my last game, and it came and it was shit in that game. One, but like it was shit. Don't know. It's regen, and like Wish regen is like a dreamy combination, but it doing literally fuck all outside of knock and then Wish passing just makes him
Oh,
feel
for sure.
meh. He's just fodder for like whatever the enemy team wants to do. You want to come in and set up hazards? Feel free. Odin's not going to do anything about it. You want to set up with Highness up? Feel free. Odin's not going to do anything about it.
Oh, pretty much. But anyways, I think we should leave it here before we hit like the 3 hour mark. Smart.
Indeed. We'll wrap it up there. Fuck
Cheeky
Odino.
2.5 hour power ranking.
Yup.
I